Bruins legends lining the hallway. Bruins players, today's version, paying homage and paying their respects. Right now, it's time to take you down to ice level in the Bruins Centennial pregame ceremony. And PA announcer John Dolan.
Years ago, your Boston Bruins took the ice for the first time in the National Hockey League. It was the beginning of a story that continues to unfold, its pages filled with legendary moments, iconic figures, shared experiences, and passion. Every game-winning goal, every shutout, every shift from the more than 1,000 men who make up the Bruins' first century helped cultivate the values of this original six franchise. And as the next century begins, this preserved past will power the future.
Representing the early years era, please welcome Ted Shore, son of number 2, Eddie Shore. Pamela Coburn, granddaughter of number 3, Lionel Hitchman. Greg Taberge, grandson of number 5, Dick Clapper. Nancy Summer, daughter of number 15, Milt Schmidt. And number 22, Willie O'Reed.
Casino has scored 59 goals. Boards on the yellow. Drive. Goal! Goal right up. Sahad scores! Jim Hunt knocks it home. Fires. Scores! Harold Dante wins it for Boston. Behind the net to Sanderson. Orr! Artie Orr! Scores! And the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup. It's over. The Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Representing the big bad Bruins era, please welcome number 4, Bobby Orr. Number 7, Phil Esposito. Number 9, Johnny Busick. And number 12, Wayne Cashman.
Midland on the move. Shift. Scores! What a goal! To Brickell. Scores! A hot flick from Brickell. Gives the Bruins the victory. And Brickell to O'Reilly's right in. Scores! What a beautiful goal by Kelly O'Reilly. Shot. Score! Right mark! Right mark! Great stop. Save. Drive again. Stop by Gilbert. One goal saving by Gilbert. Knocked away. Park with it. Scores! Brad Park wins the game. Well, we got a little thing going on here as O'Reilly is out into the stand.
Representing the Lunch Pail AC era, please welcome number 16, Rick Middleton. And number 24, Terry O'Reilly.
reminds us how fortunate we are to live in this city. You can tear down the building, but not the memories.
Score!
representing the New Blood, New Beginnings era, please welcome number 8, Kim Neely. Number 41, Jason Allison. And number 77, Ray Bork. The return of a champion era, please welcome number 37, Patrice Bergeron. And number 63, Brad Marchand.
Representing the Boston Bruins is the ultimate honor. It's a great, great honor to represent this community and the city of Boston and the state of Massachusetts. And it's been a sport in this city for as long as any other sport in any other city in the country. And you know, those traditions and those legacies, you can't get away from when you come to Boston. You're now part of that. I've often been asked what it means to be a Boston Bruin. The most important traits are skill and will. Hockey's a game where you have to have the will to play. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have the will that's required on the ice, it's probably true that you won't be as successful as you could be. Amongst the ones I should really be applauding are the fans who have been our biggest supporters for the last 100 years. There has been a century of Bruins hockey, and it's time to start another 100 years.
Bruins past and present, together with our diehard fans, today we officially close our 100th year celebration. Honored alumni, please help us officially close the Bruins Vault, forever immortalizing the countless memories of our 100-year history and turning the page to the next century. Ladies and gentlemen, now we begin a new chapter. It's time for the next generation of superstars, diehards, and community heroes to rise and carry the legacy forward. Please welcome to the ice the next generation, represented by youth hockey players from programs across New England to help us usher into the next century. Alumni, it's our honor to have you pass the puck to the next generation. Alumni, players, coaches, and especially you, the fans, for making the last century of Bruins hockey one to remember. Here's to the next 100 years.
What a ceremony. We'll recap and continue the celebration as Bruins Face Off Live continues.
Madison, he shot, goal, and one Derek Bennett with a first to Boston. As O'Reilly is out into the stands.
Bobby Orr behind the net to Sanderson. Orr! Bobby Orr! Scores in the Boston Bruins! The Bruins will Stanley Cup!
It's knocked away. Park with it. Scores! Brad Park wins the game. Brad Park, a rebound. And Neely gets number 50 as the Bruins lead 6-3. He's in. He scores! Cam Neely from Bob Screen. He makes it 4-1 on a breakaway.
I'll tell you, the Boston Bruins are a one happy bunch.
This building is vibrating.
Get the Duck Boats ready. After 39 long years, the Cup is back home. The Bruins are 2011 Stanley Cup champions.
The three Spurs are on. With the point of the dagger in their throats, they rip it out of Toronto's hands and kill the beast.
Got Pasternak going. It's banked out in front. Pasternak the backhand.
He scores!
Did someone ask for some pasta?
Welcome back into Bruins Face Off Live, presented by Echo Store Technologies. After we just witnessed the Bruins' great centennial ceremony, Dale Arnold, Billy Jaffe, Barry Peterson, and Andy Brickley joins us as well. Brick is a Massachusetts native who was lucky enough to play for the Bruins, followed by a stellar broadcasting career. And you were standing right beside me getting chills just like I was.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially when you see Orr and Espo come out, Chief, Cash. I mean, great to see Wayne Cashman. He doesn't come around too often anymore, so great to see those guys. They were my idols. They were my heroes, and it was really an experience of feeling like a little kid again when they celebrated that portion of the 100 years, and then it morphed into what we just saw, you know, the reversing the curse in '88. That was awesome, and then the Cup in '11. So great to see everybody. Great performance, great show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was moving.
So growing up in Melrose,
yeah,
with your family, watching the games on TV, who was the kid that had to go up and put the tinfoil on the on the little ears? Was it always the youngest one?
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
always, and that was usually me, because my brother Quentin's 5 years younger than me, so he wasn't around as much. It was just the 4 old boys, and yeah, I had that responsibility.
Our view from the booth is presented by Oakers Technology. I mean, what we saw here and what we witnessed here, part of the ceremony today, the Bruins celebrated their team captains and the players who've had their numbers retired. It was just an amazing thing to watch. The Bruins have really got this ceremony thing down.
They've gotten so good at it, and it's so appropriate for obvious reasons that they're playing against Montreal, who is a team that has these things down too, and the Bruins have elevated this to this level as well. To see guys like Willie O'Ree come out, just to have the connection from the grandkids of the players from the 20s and 30s and 40s, tremendous, and the pride. And I can only imagine you two guys, just the inner pride that so few people in this world have for knowing that you are a member of this very unique, very small fraternity.
Yeah, and I think Harry Sinnen said it pretty well, didn't he, Barry? You know what it means to be, you know, part of this organization for whatever period of time that you were a part of this organization, and continue to be for that matter. But I really like the players, today's players, being on the bench and getting at least a connection with these guys that really, you know, laid the groundwork.
Something that's more important than you know, waiting and out for the game and everything, to knowing what they're a part of. We don't do enough of that in society nowadays, and for them to be out there was huge. And Brad Marchand in a suit, you think anybody's giving him a hard time, guys, right there?
And Rick, one of the guys that taught you and I when we were around, it was with us and played such a key part in this organization, and we would refer to him very affectionately as Uncle Milton.
Yes.
What did he mean to you?
You know, he was, to me, the Boston Bruins. I didn't get to see him play. Just the highlights that we do have of Milt and his line and how great they were and how dominant they were in the National Hockey League, and what a leader he was and what a man. You know, we got to meet him later in life, but he always came around the alumni games, and he was just a source of feel-good and knowledge.
Rick had 37 goals and 113 points in 177 games during his Bruins playing career. Did play elsewhere. We were in New Jersey at one point at the same time together, but it was wearing this crest that meant everything.
Yeah, and I remember the day that I got taken in the waiver draft, and you know, we had done something special that year in '88. I know it was special here in '88, but it was special in Jersey, and you felt like you were an important piece of that. But my life changed dramatically for the better by coming here and playing for Boston and getting that opportunity, and played with great players. We had really good teams. You know, we lost in the final in '90 after we won the President's Trophy. Then we lost to the 2 powerhouse Pittsburgh teams in '91 and '92. We just couldn't get to the final, but play with great players, lucky enough to wear that jersey and wear that crest, and you know, couldn't be any prouder of my time that I spent with Boston.
We always talk about the pressure, and we've seen a lot of Mass natives recently come through the Bruins, but the pressure that comes with that. How did you manage that pressure and the expectations, and did it help that you were a little more into your career, you think, to be able to handle it?
Oh, look at these wheels you're showing me right now, big fella. Up and down the
Deceptively
wing.
fast.
Yes. Very deceptive.
Yeah, because of where I was in my career, Billy. You know, I was 7-8 years into my career. You know, I always said I'm amazed at these kids that come out of BC or BU or wherever, and they're in Boston or they're from Massachusetts, and they step right into this atmosphere and the pressures and the expectations and the demands on your personal time. You know, they're able to handle it. I was able to handle it because I had played 7 or 8 years and been through quite a bit, actually, whether it was up and down or, you know, moving around team to team. So I had a lot to draw on in terms of being able to have that maturity.
Time to go across the sheet, brought to you by Echo Store Technologies. Echo Store, vision, strategy, success. Well, for most fans of the Boston Bruins, their fondest memories of this original 6 rivalry goes back to the Stanley Cup playoffs in 1988.
best of 7 Bruins, what went it in 5, and it was amazing. You guys, they lost the first game, right? And then they come back and they stormed through, and the games were close. Just amazing. I remember watching those games, but you guys, you know, again, being part of the organization, it had to mean so much to you guys as well.
The Data Center brought to you by Echo Store Technologies as we look at the all-time numbers there, and they skew in favor of Montreal. But let us have 1988. Thank you very much. It as wonderful as that was, it probably doesn't offset a certain pain of too many men on the ice penalty.
Yeah, you know, you think of when you think about that 88 team and you know, changing the fortune of the Boston Bruins. We ended up beating Montreal 3 out of the 4 years I was in Boston. That was something to be proud of. But you thought of 71, you saw of 73, you thought of, you know, 78, 77, 78, 79, when it looked like the Bruins had a team to beat Montreal and just couldn't get it done. So to celebrate what that team did in 88 and the players that were on that team and the way they did it, the way they played, I mean, that series was dominated by Boston.
I remember the guys telling me when they came back, they thought it was a celebration for the Cup.
Yeah,
there were so many fans that were at the airport. Everyone was so excited because of this great event.
And as we said, we go back to 1979 and a moment that Bruins fans probably would prefer to forget. There was a certain extra player on the ice wearing a Bruins uniform.
So I would imagine when you were dealing with your rabbit ears, this one didn't go over too well, my friend?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, I mean, what was it, Lafleur just over the blue line from the boards almost, and he rips one far side, low stick side, and then, you know, the overtime killer was just, you know, it was hard to watch. You know, you thought it was over. You thought the Bruins had it. Nope, the ghosts. Nope. Close. The ghosts of the Forum.
Another towering figure in team history was forward Normand Levier, whose career was cut tragically short by a brain aneurysm suffered on October 23rd, 1982, at the age of 19.
And I can't tell you how good this kid was going to be with the speed. He had kind of Marchand's compete level in him, the ability to be able to physically hit and compete, and just able to had a great release as well, and a great kid. And talk about putting life in perspective real quick. I mean, here we are, blessed enough to be playing this great game, and things like this.
This was happen. Ray Bourque helping Normand take one last skate on garden ice. This was the last hurrah, September 26, 1995. And if you could stand in that building, as I was, and not shed a tear, you got no soul.
And look at Donnie Sweeney, general manager, right there next to Ray, helping him along.
It was an amazing thing to watch.
It really was.
And to see everybody out there, but that moment right there brought a stunned silence to this building all of a sudden.
Yeah, and to hear Barry speak of Normand and what his future was and how good a player he was, you know, as a fan, you know, I didn't appreciate that. I didn't see him play enough to know that this kid was that good. But when I talk to you, when I talk to Ray, and Ray gushes about, you know, what a career this kid was going to have, that's good enough for me. You know, if you're telling me he was that good, then, you know, it would have been nice to have him.
Brick, good to see you again.
You too, Dale.
Thanks. Andy Brickley joining us. He'll be with Judd Surratt upstairs in the booth. The call coming up. Well, the Bruins have gone from the bench to the dressing room. They've gotten themselves properly attired as they get ready for the warm-up before the game here this afternoon against the Montreal Canadiens. The Bruins also held a fan fest outside the Garden. Fun time for all out there. It featured Bruins alumni and memorabilia, Hall of Fame, and the Sports Museum. Some Bruins legends were also on hand, including our own Andrew Raycroft, who has more.
Thanks, Dale. Yeah, down on Canal Street here at Fan Fest. It is a heck of a vibe a few hours before puck drop. Lots of action, lots of music, lots of games for the kids, lots of events for the older people, but we also got to talk to some alumni. So the alumni are in the house. We've got some legendary, all the numbers up in the rafters, and we got to talk to a few of them about how great this weekend's been.
You can see how many people are here today on this frigid day, lining up to see the Stanley Cup, meet us, go to the game, and watch them beat Montreal. Couldn't have a better day.
I think the whole thing is wonderful. The fans, the former players, former teammates, the history of the team, what the ownership has done to bring this together, not just today, but the whole year. You know, the series of celebrations. It really, you know, it's just a wonderful way to celebrate the 100th anniversary.
Great hearing from those guys. Can't wait to see all of them together at the ceremony, starting around 2:45, 3 o'clock inside the Garden. It's going to be can't miss TV. I'll be back up on the desk in a few minutes with you guys. Make sure you leave me a little bit of cake, Billy.
No chance.
Might be too late.
No chance, partner.
He's not moving that fast either. No, he doesn't move quick.
Oh, look at the old helmet Pasta's got going on, coming out.
Goaltender Jeremy Swayman leads the Bruins onto the ice here at the TD Garden, followed by the captain Brad Marchand, as the Bruins get set to kick off their second 100 years with an original 6 matchup against the Montreal Canadiens. Heat Zone is presented by Rotenheiser Home Services. Apply a past repair bill towards a new heating system. Fix it forward with Rotenheiser today. Take a look at Brad Marchand, who has loved playing against the Montreal Canadiens over the course of his career. 17 goals, 31 assists, 48 points, and a +12, as he will light it up here this afternoon against Montreal as well. We are live from our Wasabi studio. We thank Wasabi for their partnership with Nesson here at this beautiful studio at the TD Garden. The Jacobs family and Brad Marchand getting ready for the action here this afternoon. Charlie Jacobs will join us. We'll talk about their stewardship, which has lasted 50 years along the way, as we get ready for the Bruins and the Canadiens.
Back down into the Vancouver zone with 5 seconds to go. The exit behind the Canucks net. Get the duck boats ready. Get the duck boats ready. After 39 long years, the cup is back home. The Bruins are 2011 Stanley Cup champions. Everybody over the boards and jumping on top of Tim Thomas. A shutout in Game 7. Their first Stanley Cup since 1972.
No matter where you are, there are only 10 days.
Kings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
There was a very special ceremony yesterday outside the TD Garden as the team unveiled the Centennial Legacy Monument, crafted by the same man who sculpted the famous Bobby Orr statue outside the Garden, Harry Weber. Happy to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer and alternate governor of the Boston Bruins, Charlie Jacobs. He gave that Bears paw a little rub there. It's great to see you again.
Good to see you, Dale.
Thank you.
Great.
Nice to be back in the building. You guys, and we were talking about this earlier on set, you guys have become incredibly adept at ceremonies.
You know, we're having a lot of fun with this. It's kind of sad it's over almost. It's been a wonderful experience and seen a lot of great faces, happy alumni. This is all about celebrating our brand. And
It's an amazing amount of work that goes into not just what we saw today, but really the last year.
Yeah.
And you guys have just knocked it out of the park.
Well, thank you. You know what? We're the first American club to turn 100 years old, and I imagine a lot of people are watching that may be turning 100 years soon, and hopefully we're writing a good playbook.
We take a look at some of the ceremonies down on the ice here just a few moments ago. The Bruins have been the heart and soul of New England sporting scene for 100 years, and I know your family has taken the stewardship of this franchise very seriously.
No, it's not something we take lightly, right? It's an honor, and in many ways we're just stewards of this brand.
And have been stewards of the brand for half of the team's lifetime.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's an amazing record that you guys, we celebrate 100 years of team history here. And as we said, the Jacobs family has owned this franchise for 50 of it. And you look at the changes, what it was like at the beginning of the Jacobs family stewardship here in the old Boston Garden, and what we see around us now, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. That's a flattering comment, Dale. It's in the business of entertainment and having fun and representing Boston the best we can. So
the building itself, the changes that you have undertaken just within the walls of the building, a lot of thought went into all of this.
I appreciate that. Yes, we went around the league and looked for what we thought would be best practices around the National Hockey League and the NBA, and tried to bring them back here to Boston and incorporate them into the game experience for our event goers.
As I was watching in the hallway as the legends were all lined up on either side, and the current players were going down the middle and fist bumping everybody, we were wondering how many of your current players were going, oh my God, that's Bobby Orr.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, we had all our former captains here, and it was really a special moment. This is all about the past, the present, and then of course the future. And you saw that today on the ice pregame here, and it's a treat to see that. And I don't play in the National Hockey League, but having experienced them walking through those halls is it's a moving experience.
It was fun. What are you looking for the rest of the season from your team now?
Well, right now we're looking at, I think we have yet to play our best game. We've been sort of had those up and downs. I was just looking at some of the stats for today's starting goalies. It looks a little upside down, and I think we're trying to right-side the ship, so to speak.
Charlie, it's great to see you again.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Charlie Jacobs joining us up next. He's a Hall of Famer and was the prototype of the National Hockey League power forward. Today, he's the Bruins team president. We'll talk to Cam Neely coming up next.
The long drought has ended. Burridge breaks it up. Buzak with it. Since 1943, haven't beaten them in the series, and this is a good Canadiens team.
Great Canadiens
no
team.
mistake about it.
I never got to see it as a player, but boy, it's sweet as a broadcaster.
And the salute to Lemlin. You never saw 4 better games than Reggie Lemlin turned in the nets for Boston. The Bruins wrap it up with 4 straight after losing the first one. More importantly, they'll get the break and the gap that they need.
Are they happy? Now, John Perron's not, but I'll tell you, the Boston Bruins are a one happy bunch.
Honey?
But the games are pumping.
Yeah, the market's closed.
Futures don't sleep in the after hours, bro.
Dad, is Mommy a finance bro?
She switched careers to make money for your weddings.
Ooh, penny stocks are blowing up. Sweetie, grab your piggy bank. We're going all in. Let me ask you, for your wedding, do you want a gazebo and a river?
I don't... What's a gazebo?
Something that your mother always wanted and never got.
Or you could give these different investment options a shot.
The right money moves aren't as aggressive as you think.
I'm keeping the best.
At Sierra, Steve discovered the best gifts at amazing prices for his whole family, which led to another...
Presented in part by Curry College, just 7 miles from Boston and the only college in Massachusetts that guarantees our graduates a job.
It was a moving and special ceremony celebrated here at the TD Garden just a few moments ago, marking the centennial season for the Boston Bruins. Joining us now here on set, in addition to Andrew Raycroft, our colleague, team president Cam Neely. That was incredible to watch.
I got to tell you, it was very moving. It really was. All the guys were blown away. I give a lot of credit to everybody behind the scenes that put this centennial year together. Not just today, but the whole year was special.
I think kind of ironic. In the old days, we used to measure these types of ceremonies by Montreal. But now the Bruins have really elevated the last few years, huh? You guys got it down to a science.
Well, our team is really special off the ice and what they do for game presentation. I give them a lot of credit. You know, being the first American team to be 100 years, we wanted to set the standard here, and I think we did.
Yes.
We did that.
Now, sometimes you have a vision, right? And then it comes to reality. What do you think of the sweaters out there, the whole unis that you get to see them live out here on the team?
They look sharp. You know, once you see them on the players, it really pop. I knew they were going to look good, but they look better than I anticipated on the ice.
Regional 6 organization, it's amazing how connected everybody is. And from Bobby to Taz and Nifty, and then to you and Ray, and now you're mentoring the next group. But you're connected right in the middle, and just how proud are you of today?
Well, it says a lot about the great players that have come through this organization over 100 years. And one of the things that I really was blown away when I came here in '86 was to see all these 70s players still around Boston and come through the locker room, and it blew me away. Like, oh my God, Bobby Orr's here, Felix Bazzizo, you know, we had Derek Sanderson, Chief, all these guys, and you know, I think it's very important for these current players to continue to see the alumni come through here, because it's really the foundation that was set, and both on and off the ice, for guys before us.
Well, to take that one step further, at this special unveiling ceremony yesterday of the centennial statue, you spoke about how you and your wife wanted to raise your family here. You wanted to live here and have for 5 decades.
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's a great place to raise a family. I really embraced the Boston area when I first got here, and then met a lot of people outside of our sport, outside of my teammates, and they introduced me to whether it's the Cape or the Islands or up in New Hampshire. I mean, New England is so beautiful, it's hard not to stay here.
When you think, I was saying, the totality of your career, everything that you've done, and then you see your number up there and everything. You know, Harry Sinden did it beautifully. He talked about what it means to be a Bruin.
Yeah.
What about to you? How do you put into words what it means to Cam Neely to be a Bruin with everything you've done?
Well, one of the things that I try to relay to our current players, whether it's, you know, this year, last year, next year, whatever it is, you know, primarily where it's a blue-collar city, a blue-collar fan base. They get up every morning, put their work boots on, and go to work and work hard, and then they want to come and enjoy themselves. And they want to see their athletes work hard, not just the hockey players, not just the Bruins, but all athletes across the city. They want to see them work hard. You may not play well every night, but you can work hard every night. And I think that's the message that we try to get across to the guys, is put that effort in every night.
Thoughts on the team here going forward? You've been a little busy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Obviously not the start that we anticipated or we certainly hoped for. You know, we're starting to get some better play defensively. We're not giving up those grade A chances that we were. We're still struggling to score some goals. Hopefully we can get that turned around. But you know, we're still in the mix. We're not dead in the water yet, so that's a good thing. Our guys are very positive about, you know, some of the good strides that we made, but we got to put a string of games together here.
Well, let's go back to 1988 for a moment. Pleasant memory.
Yeah.
In this Bruins-Canadiens rivalry. What did it mean to you guys to finally get that monkey off the back?
Well, for a lot of us, we didn't really understand what it meant, you know, because some of us were just new to the team, new to the organization.
I knew what it was.
Yeah, well,
okay,
yeah, of course you did.
There you go.
Of course you did. But it was so special to really understand, like, how important this series was to be able to beat Montreal and what it meant to the fan base here. It was, you know, a culmination of 45 years of not getting past Montreal in the playoffs. So to be able to do that you know, it was great for the organization. Obviously, fantastic for us that were involved in those games. And I think it just changed the mindset of what's it like to go into Montreal now.
How about when you arrived back on the airport?
Oh, my God.
It seemed like it was a Stanley Cup win, right?
It was unbelievable. We had no anticipation of that happening. We show up, I think it was like 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. Had to be 2,000 to 3,000 people there waiting for us. It was unbelievable. And that really is when it sunk in for me what it meant to beat Montreal finally in the playoffs.
Everybody knows now.
Yeah.
And we could start this afternoon, by the way.
That would be nice.
Yes, that would be very nice. Second 100 years. You know, there are only 12 numbers hanging in these rafters up here. What does it mean to you personally that number 8 is one of them?
Well, for me, I don't know if there's a higher honor than getting your number retired by a professional sports team. And the thing for me, as everybody most knows, that I lost both my parents while I was playing here. And a little known fact, my mother's maiden name was Cameron, so that's what I was named after. And then, of course, my father's surname. So when I look up there, it reminds me a lot of both my parents, which is kind of nice.
Good for you. Yep.
It's an amazing thing to look at, and I think about, you know, what that legacy means to this franchise history. Who knows who will be number 13 up there, but one of the original 12 up there is pretty cool.
Well, it's very special. I mean, I'm so honored to have that happen to me. You know, there's going to be a few more going up, I'm sure, in the near future. But it's really quite an honor, especially for a franchise that's 100 years old.
It's great to see you again.
Thank you, Dale. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. Jack Edwards' passion for and love of the Bruins came through every time he got behind the mic in his 19 years as Bruins play-by-play announcer on NESN. That's why the NESN broadcast booth was dedicated in his honor earlier this season. And who can forget one of his signature playoff moments in Game 7 against Toronto back in 2013.
The stick save. Boychuk's drive rattles around in front. Marchand to Bergeron on the drive save. Rebound is loose. Sagan kicks it loose. Bergeron scores! Patrice Bergeron with the point of the dagger in their throats. They rip it out of Toronto's hands and kill the beast. The Boston Bruins have won it after being 3 down in the third.
No matter where you are, there are only 10 days. 10 days.
Store Technologies, proudly celebrating 10 years of partnership with NESN.
Time for our betting segment presented by FanDuel. No better place to get in on NHL action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and start making every moment more. Take a look at the parlay, the same game parlay for today, provided by FanDuel. Under 5.5 goals, -104. Brad Marchand, anytime goal, he's going to be cranked up today, +175. Bruins under 3.5 goals, -124. Same day parlay odds, +812. Bet $5 to win $40.63. As a Weymouth native, Charlie Coyle knows full well about the impact of this franchise on the region. Coyle is playing in his 13th NHL season, coming off a career-best 25-goal season last year. A few moments ago, he spoke with Adam Pellerin at Ice Level.
Charlie, a special weekend honoring 100 years of Bruins hockey. What does it mean to you to be a part of that legacy?
It means a lot. Just growing up from around the area, watching Bruins games, going to Bruins games, hearing stories of the older days from my dad when he would watch it as a kid and growing up. Even watching the pre-ceremony videos and getting chills, you know, and on to the new generation of kids and little kids who are from the area, just like I was, and it's exciting, and it's a lot of great memories from the last 100.
Yeah, a special weekend, but it's been a special year plus or so celebrating the centennial. What's been your favorite part?
There's too many. I think I mean, the whole history, having the legends and the guys who have played before us be around so much, that says so much about the organization and everything that's happened, and it's just awesome to be a part of that, play a little role, and try to create some more memories for these fans. I mean, playing here in front of these fans, family, friends, like, you can't beat it, and I feel so lucky.
You got work to do today, though. What's the key against the Canadians?
They're a good team. They're going to play us tough. They always do here. This rivalry is like no other. We love these games. It's not too hard to get up for them, but especially at another reason like this with 100 years, it should be an awesome one.
You like the Scally?
I love it. I wish I could rock that like you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Begging for compliments? Tonight's Forward Line is brought to you by Fred C. Church, New England's choice for personal and business insurance since 1865. Learn more at fredcchurch.com.
We got a little tweakage, just a little bit, not with the Zaka line. That remains the same. Same thing with Elias Lindholm's line. Coil line, though, gets Kastelik on the right side. That means he's going to bump up from the 4 slot. Beecher moves to the middle. Koepke on the left. Mark McLaughlin, Mass native, in the lineup. Tyler Johnson out for this one.
As we mentioned a few moments ago, our buddy Andrew Raycroft joining us before face-off today between the Bruins and the Canadiens.
I left cake for you.
I appreciate
a lot of cake for you.
I
that
need
much.
to get
Not much, right?
No, not much. I'll get one little sliver to bring down with me.
And we've heard from Barry and what it means as an alumni of this team, what you've watched here today.
Well, you hear it, and there's so many cliches, I'm sure, but you do get chills watching that, just being a part of it for one game, let alone 3 or 4 or 5 seasons like I got to be a part of, being a part of, and seeing, and like Cam talked about, having Wayne Cashman as my assistant coach, having Jerry Cheevers as my goalie coach, having him come and watch me play junior hockey and sitting down with him after and learning what that meant as a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, and now being here now 44 and having my kids watch the Bruins. It's just so special. I remember Cam Neely night. I played that game. I remember how nervous I was. I remember I didn't want to be the losing goalie and have Cam coming down to the room after chasing me. It brings back so many memories from playing, but also just a lot of pride to have been a small part of it.
He's tied for the team lead with 8 goals, but I kind of doubt that David Pastrnak doesn't feel like he still has more of his game to discover.
Well, if he does tonight, it's going to be because of the bucket.
Oh, that's Kenny Linsman's. He definitely got Kenny Linsman's bucket. I love it.
That is classic.
It's the old Cooper.
It is.
Yeah.
He's been going bucketless for warm-up. So now, if this works, I think. Will he be allowed to wear it regularly?
He's going to have to wear it. If he gets 3 tonight, he's got to wear it the next game.
Oh, man.
Well, they got to put a shield on it first.
We'd give anything for 3 to up that stick tonight.
You see Brad Marchand, the captain of this team, part of the ceremony as well.
Yeah.
He is desperately trying to will this team.
That he is, and Razor and I were kind of chuckling to ourselves as he walked past the bench in that with that suit jacket on. We were just saying, I wonder what the boys are giving to him.
Chirp Central.
Yeah. They're giving it to him big time.
Defenseman Charlie McAvoy will represent the United States in the Four Nations tournament in February, but the team needs more from him right now.
They certainly do, and you hope that there's some inspiration from some of the other defensemen that walked out onto the ice tonight, but it's physicality, getting feet moving, and shooting the puck.
Shooting the puck. We're going to see some different power play units. We haven't really been to get into the game. We'll do that maybe in first intermission. We'll talk about this guy here and Jeremy Swayman as well.
Gets a second consecutive start here against the Canadiens as his game seems to be rounding into some shape after training camp.
And I think just mentally he feels a lot better. I saw him down the hallway, and you see that .943 save percentage. I think the confidence is coming back. He's getting his work in and feeling better about where he is out on the ice.
And oh, by the way, the team is playing better defensively in front of him.
Always helps.
Andrew, we dug deep into the historical files for today's game. We were surprised to find some
back row
unexpected members of that team from 100 years ago.
You look young there, too.
It's not that funny, you know.
It is.
Oh, it sort of is.
Can you give us that pose?
Couldn't see
what you did? There you go. Looked like me after Thanksgiving.
That's great stuff.
Let's be honest, he looks like he fits there, too.
He didn't have to put it in black and white.
He scored 60 goals that year, though, right? He scored 60 goals that year.
Great to see all you guys. We'll be visiting.
Hey, good job. Like you've done this before.
Fans getting ready for the start of this one. Delivering artwork to Jeremy Swayman. It's the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. All of the action coming your way from the TD Garden. Face-off is coming up next.
Tremendous pregame ceremony, but now we've got the main event. Along with Andy Brickley, I'm Judd Surratt. Thank you for joining us. Rick, if you go back and read the newspaper clips from December of 1924, two things were clear. The style that the Bruins played and how much the fans in New England embraced that team and the style. Today, we're going to celebrate the centennial anniversary of that game back on December 1st, 1924, and look ahead to the next century of Boston Bruins hockey.
And what it means to be a Boston Bruin, I think, was on display in the pregame ceremony. The legends that came back to be here, to be a part of it, and a look to the future. I love the fact that today's players were on the bench, making that connection with the players that came before them.
And the team that the Bruins are playing today, it's a perfect opponent. For what felt like an eternity, it felt like they had a hex over the Bruins in the playoffs. They won 18 straight playoff series until 1988.
What a playoff run that was for the Boston Bruins, all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and they had to go through Montreal to get there, and what a feeling that must have been for that group. They were a dominant team in that series, winning it in 5 games. Cam Neely, that power forward, his ability to finish in and around the net, even if it's Patrick Waugh in goal, it's just an impressive thing to watch. You know, they were a group that was really close-knit. They did everything together. They celebrated together. And then to be able to do what they did against Montreal, in Montreal, and you can only imagine what a guy like Reggie Lemelin felt like being able to deliver for the Boston Bruins, what it must have felt like for Terry O'Reilly, hopping over those boards. knowing that they just knocked the Canadians out of the playoffs. He didn't have that experience as a player. He certainly got it as a coach.
And the same for Raymond Bourque. And when it comes to big games, that's when the stars come out. The Bruins captains, their leaders, they're going to be on display today.
It is, and when you take a look at the guys that were instrumental, certainly when you think about 2011, you got to start with the Bruins captain, Brad Marchand, and he was part of that ceremony before the game in a suit. I'm sure he took some ribbing from the current players, but look for him to step up in a big moment. David Pastrnak, we've been talking about him for a while now. He's looking to find his scoring touch. No better day than today to find that scoring touch when you talk about David Pastrnak's impact on the team. Of course, Charlie McAvoy on the back end. He's going to log the most minutes of any Bruin here this afternoon. He wants to bring his A game, and of course Jeremy Swayman, after the big contract situation, trying to settle in and find his A game. He'll certainly want to rise to the occasion this afternoon.
Back in 1924, it started for the Bruins at what was then known as Boston Arena, now known as Matthews Arena. The Bruins moved to TD Garden in 1995. The Centennial statue unveiled just beside it yesterday. There are so many great memories through 100 years during this series. This building is going to be vibrating here tonight. It's the Centennial game next. Regional 6 matchup is presented by GMC. We are professional grade. In a matchup 100 years in the making, the Bruins take on the Montreal Canadiens. Well, back on December 1st, 1924, the Bruins won their inaugural game 2-1 over the Montreal Maroons. The Bruins were down 1-0 at the end of one. Smokey Harris tied it in the second. And then it was Carson Cooper in the third period with the game-winning goal as the Bruins beat the Maroons 2-1. Here's public address announcer John Dolan.
Fans, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your caps for the singing of the national anthems. Accompanied by Bruins organist Ron Poster, please welcome Todd Angeli. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, a true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Blocked by the long arm of Ken Dryden. The Bruins knock out Montreal!
For 100 years, the Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadiens have been intertwined in one of the greatest sports rivalries of all time. That tradition continues today as these two centenarian foes meet for the 940th time, the most that any two teams have met one another in NHL history. To celebrate the spirit of our rivalry, past, present, and future, we are joined by special guests for today's ceremonial puck drop. Representing Montreal, please welcome U11 youth hockey player from Quebec, Kane Sachs, joined by Canadiens legend Ken Dryden. And representing Boston, please welcome from U12 youth hockey player from Cambridge, Mass, Alethea Huang, and Bruins legend Johnny Busick. join Brad Marchand at center ice for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. Thank you, Kane, Alethea, Ken, and Johnny.
What a twosome on the ice for that ceremonial puck drop. The all-time leading goal scorer in Bruins history, Chief John Busick, 545 goals. And Ken Dryden joining him on the carpet at center ice. Originally a Bruins draft pick, a third-round pick back in 1964. I was wondering how he would be received when he walked out.
Always good to see Ken Dryden. Didn't like seeing him in 1971, though. Got in the way of that dynasty that was here in Boston. But you know, you have to appreciate the Canadians. You know, didn't like them growing up. You know, don't like to use that word hate, but hated the Canadians growing up. But you have to appreciate them, the organization, and the rich history.
Starting goalies presented by Jordan's Furniture. Don't miss your shot at 15% off during the Black Friday event going on now. We're going to see Caden Primo in net for the Canadians. Hasn't made a lot of starts. This is only his 6th. He did win his last appearance. That came 4 days ago against the Columbus Blue Jackets. His counterpart, Jeremy Swayman. Swayman won in the home opener against the Habs, and he is 8-0-1 lifetime against Montreal. There's the interim head coach of the Bruins, Joe Sacco, a guy who grew up in town and watched a lot of these series over the years between the Bruins and the Canadians. And one of the things he talked about, you realize the importance of being part of an original 6 team, how much of a privilege it is, and watching the Bruins and the Canadians as a kid, you could feel the intensity. Charlie Coyle taps the stick, and the Weymouth native wins it, and away we go, the centennial game, Bruins and Canadians, here at TD Garden. Back of the net, Coyle trying to kick it out in front. His stick got shattered. And we've got to stop and play 15 seconds in.
Yeah, a little reaction from Charlie Coyle, you know, shrugging his shoulders like, that's usually called when I get my stick broken in half. But
Charlie Coyle scored the Bruins' lone goal here 2 nights ago on Black Friday. Bruins got off to a quick start against the Pittsburgh Penguins, but could not sustain it and lost that game 2-1. Now the Canadians win the draw. They've had all sorts of problems getting started in the first period this year. Bruins pounded in deep. Kaslik, who had 2 goals in the home opener against the Canadians, set back of the net. Coyle with a check, trying to free that puck. And Cooley guides it up the near side. This won't get out. McAvoy sorts it out, swings it back of the net to Frederick. He was looking for Coyle out in front, retrieves the puck up top. Osterley to McAvoy. Shoots, and it's gloved by Primo, and he holds. Caden Primo played his college hockey in these parts at Northeastern, but Sam Montembeault has gotten the bulk of the work. He was in net and suffered the loss yesterday afternoon at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers on top in that one 4-3, but the Canadians had to rally from a 2-goal deficit in the 3rd period. And it looked like the game was headed into overtime, but Kirby Dach was given a double minor for a high stick, and Capo Caco scored a controversial power play goal. And the Blue Shirts won it. Here's Zadorov. Sidesteps Cole Caulfield, and he'll drive it back into the Montreal end. Hudson played it ahead, and over the line left side, here's Suzuki, the Canadians' captain. Up top to Hudson, rink wide it comes. Hudson near point. Tied for 4th among rookies in scoring. Number 1 among rookie defensemen. Now Marchand played it off the wall and out to center ice. Bruins will start to make some changes. We're wearing Centennial game jerseys for this afternoon's affair. Peek back of the net. His pass hit a skate. The Bruins got it over to the far side. Chop it out to the neutral zone. And it's banged back into the Bruins end. Lori to Peek. So Joe Sacco changing his deep pairs and inserting Jordan Osterley into the lineup. Parker Wotherspoon a healthy scratch today. Slavkovsky over the line. We got an offside here on Montreal.
Yeah, only by 20 feet. There was some indecision. Andrew Peek wasn't sure he could get to that loose puck, so he kept backing up. Then he said, hey, I can deny this play in the neutral zone. So he's able to make a little touch on that puck, and it throws off the timing of the rush for the Canadians, and therefore the offside.
Marty St. Louis said yesterday at Madison Square Garden after they lost the game, I loved our game, but I'm not going to talk about the refs. And he wasn't asked about them. Far side at center ice. Beecher will crank it in, and this puck leaves the surface.
You're looking pretty styling in that cap there, Judd.
Thanks to the Bruins for hooking us up. I like the Scally cap.
Yeah.
First one I've ever had. Tremendous.
Yeah, next road trip, we're taking the train.
Sounds good to me. Jack-Eye back of the net. And now Jack-Eye will feed it up the middle. The Bruins almost cut it off. And now the Habs control out at center ice. They'll zip it in. We played 2.5 minutes. We're scoreless. Bruins pound the puck ahead. A little space for Koepke. Right circle. Shoots. And this one deflected over the glass. Down to Andrew Raycroft.
Hey, Judd, thank you very much. What a night. What a vibe down here at ice level. And it reminded me of 2004, January 12th, 2004, and talking about Cam Neely night and how nervous I was. We were playing the Buffalo Sabres. Everything was going really good for our season at that point. We were cooking along, but so nervous playing a bad Buffalo Sabres team. We got down 2-0 early, and I was thinking, oh boy, Cam's going to wring all of our necks. But fortunately, we pulled out a 4-3 win. It wasn't pretty, but I remember how important this night, these games are for the players in the lineup and what it means for the history of the team.
I can't imagine, Andrew, just when Brick and I were watching before the game, before the Bruins were coming onto the ice, as Zacha turns and shoots and he fans on this, all those players walking down that hallway, and it was a gauntlet of Bruins legends that were on either side. Guys like Orr and Esposito, O'Reilly, Neely, Cashman. Unbelievable. Just what it must have felt like for those guys just to walk down the hall before the game. Pete cranks it around to the far side. And now Evans fed it up top. It's bounced out in front. Peek kicks it to the far circle. Got locked up with Heineman. And skating it out, here's Geekie. Chopped down low by Lori. And both teams will start to change. Now Jaden Struble sent it up the right side. Here's Doc. He'll wire it in. And the Bruins will burst the other way. Now Frederick with a little speed. Left circle now. Fired on net by Sidorov. And it's gobbled up by Primo. This was the scene we were talking about, the players as they were walking toward the ice before the ceremony. Look at all those guys. And also great to see family members of former Bruins legends like Eddie Shore or Dick Clapper, Lionel Hitchman, also a part of this. How could you not get fired up for the game?
Nifty right there, front and center, and the camera. He was, what a highlight reel he was.
Unbelievable. They showed one of his highlights where he was up the left side of the ice, had to leap over a sliding defender, caught the puck, and ripped it home.
Yeah, shelved it.
One of a handful of numbers that's been retired by the Bruins. And should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Hudson drives it back of the net, played over to the near side. And now Newhook will drive it in off his skates. Swayman guides it over to the near side. Carlo had a problem with it. Along the near wall, Swayman trying to trap it, and finally the whistle is blown.
Well, the Bruins have had a couple of clean breakouts, which has been nice. The support in the middle of the ice has been there, and it's allowed the Bruins to get something off the rush. Nice little pass right there, McLaughlin. And now you're able to gain the blue line. Nice pass. Zadorov activates from that weak side D. Would like to see that shot off the left pad there, Judd. You know, try to get that rebound because you got McLaughlin driving the net on that weak side. But Zadorov thought he had a shot, took it. Good stop by Primo.
That's something Joe Sacco has talked about when he's talked about some of the offense, and one of the things he said is we need some more ugly goals. Osterley rims it around to the far side. Frederick couldn't get it out. Suzuki laid it off the side of Jeremy Swayman, who eats it up, and we'll have a draw.
How do you like the unis?
Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. These were made specially for the game, and they have two special elements. One is in the bottom headline where it reads tradition, grit, passion, and heart, the Bruins' core values. And then in the collar, it's the score of the first ever game, December 1st, 1924. The Bruins 2, the Montreal Maroons 1. Back of the net, Osterley locks up, kicks it over to his partner. And McAvoy, with a little help, gets it out to center ice. Here's McLaughlin in the middle. Beecher going wide. Poke check by Matheson. Matheson, far hash. And the Bruins will make some changes. Hudson with a deke, he'll send it down low. Hudson played 2 years for BU. Up the middle, Pasternak took a bump. Grabbed by Dvorak. He'll crank it in. He played 5.5 minutes, still scoreless. Now Slavkovsky fires. Swayman in and out of the glove. The rebound, he couldn't get the bank shot to go as Swayman sealed off the post.
And Montreal not afraid to take bad angle shots.
Pasternak, right circle, shoots wide. They've been looking backdoor for a tip. Pasternak without a goal in his last 7.
Well, they gave him room too. You know, he looked some people off, but the Canadians allowed him to get in by that dot. He tried to rip one low, stick side, missed it.
Cooley tracks back behind the net. He had Pasternak right on top of him. Heineman took a bump. Couldn't get it by Carlo. Now Struble. Snapped ahead, Armia. Tracks back for it. His cross-ice pass. Then he took a bump from Marchand. Marchand in his 16th season with the Bruins and the captain for the Centennial game.
Yeah, when we showed that highlight of Zadorov joining the rush and getting that shot, I had McLaughlin as making the play, but it was actually Kastelik playing the right side today.
Up the right side, here's Kastelik again. He hits the brakes. Swings to Frederick. Pounds it out in front. Coyle had it go off of his chest. Tyler Johnson a healthy scratch today. It's a little bit of a different look for Joe Sacco in his bottom 6. McAvoy with a crunching check on Suzuki. Suzuki comes right back at McAvoy. On Caulfield. Tied for 9th in the league and leads the Canadians with 14 goals. He's done a ton of his damage on the power play, where he's 2nd in the league with 7.
That's such a great release.
On the Hobie Baker back in Wisconsin. He's got goals in each of his last 2 coming in, as does Suzuki. Now Doc, near corner. He got hit hard back of the net. The puck squirts to Anderson. What a bout he had yesterday with Jacob Trouba. That came 2 minutes into the game. Doc to the near corner. Anderson protects. Up top, Jackeye, across. Back to Jackeye. Shoots. Nobody out in front, and Swayman takes it right in. And now Jackeye going after Beecher. Jackeye with a little slug.
Yeah, Anderson and Lowry, too. Good box out by Boston. Let Swayman see that shot.
We're scoreless 8 minutes in.
Or choose from our great doorbuster items going on now at Bernie and Phil's. I'm Adam Pellerin outside TD Garden. Figure we get a closer look at the Centennial Legacy Monument, which was unveiled yesterday as part of the festivities. Some fun facts about the monument: 6 feet high, 10 feet long, 3,500 pounds, composed of 90 bronze pieces on a 28-inch plinth with a message inscribed to the city of Boston, honoring the past, present, and future, guys.
Great stuff, Adam. That was also done by the same sculptor, a guy named Harry Weber, who also did the iconic Bobby Orr statue that sits right out in front of TD Garden, just part of some of the festivities that the Bruins had leading up to today's game. That was yesterday. They had the Fan Fest today between 11 and 2 down at Canal. And then in addition to that, just the festivities that took place on the ice brick before the game. Era by era, the Bruins added to a time capsule, and in that vault, and then together they closed it. They looked ahead to the next century, and I love that they had youth hockey players from across New England take part in it.
Yeah, it was nice to hear from Harry Sinden, too. You know, what it means to be a Boston Bruin.
Coyle feeds it down low. Back of the net, Frederick taken away. Took the hit. Kaslik trying to help him out. Flipped over to the near side. Bruins trying to dig this puck free. And now Slavkovsky will come out. He's got 2 goals this season. He had 20 a year ago. Bruins deny a centering pass for a second. Brendan Gallagher was all by himself. He had 2 goals in the Bruins home opener here.
Yeah, big play by Charlie Coyle right there. You're right. Gallagher was by himself in front of the net.
Now the Canadians will set it up behind their net. With 11 minutes remaining here in a scoreless first. Gallagher, or pardon me, Evans, he'll streak over the line. Left of the net. Took a hit. Separated from the puck by Lindholm. Canadians trying to get it back. Osterley dives in. Sent left to the cage. Heineman couldn't get a clean shot away. It's fired off the post. Now Heineman another drive. Matheson was the guy who rang the iron.
Now that puck found him, and he was in a prime scoring area. Beat Swayman blocker side, but off the pipe.
On the near wall, Brazo trying to scoop it free. Heineman played it off his skates. But the Bruins deflected out to center ice. Marchand chases. This puck is bounced in. Marchand 4th all-time in Bruins history in games played and goals. 5th in points, 6th in penalty minutes. The all-time penalty minute leader here in the building tonight, Terry O'Reilly.
Did I see him in the penalty box on social media?
You did. You're all over Twitter and Instagram, aren't you? That was an unbelievable video that was put together by the Bruins, that drone footage.
Oh, too many men. Come on.
Sounds like Cherry. New hook. Suzuki, rink wide, it's fired, the stick shatters. The hockey gods right there. Now Peak, long right wing feet, Pasternak by himself, tees it up. Primo the save. 3-on-2 the other way off the rush. Caulfield shoots. Swayman got a piece of that. This was the rush game that the Bruins felt like they started to get sucked into against the Penguins, and it did not suit them. Kepke. Knocked off stride. Beecher tried to play it to the middle. Chop back of the net. McLaughlin motoring to get it. Jack-eye far side. He'll flutter one out to center ice, and this will go deep into the Bruins' end. Carlo smacked it around to the far wall. He's playing with Zadorov right now. Bruins go indirect off the wall. Jack-eye kicked it ahead. Up the right side, here's Castellan. Wheels in. He'll drive the front of the net. Frederick threw it out in front. Primo the save. Osterley to McAvoy. Back in the net. Wrap around. He scores! Charlie McAvoy gets the Centennial game going. 1-0 Bruins.
Well, you want your studs to show up here this afternoon, this evening, in this Centennial game, and Charlie McAvoy, the first to do it, freezes everybody, draws a couple Canadians in his direction. Primo down on that short side, and he can't get across in time on the good hard wraparound. Canadians bad coverage down low. Bruins take full advantage. You know, it was the shot initially off the rush that gave the rebound. We talked about it with Zadorov. Primo makes a save, smothers it, no rebound. That time the Bruins get the rebound. It goes all the way out to Osterley at the left point.
That Bruins goal brought to you by Audi. Visit your New England area Audi dealer today. So the Bruins open the scoring. Primo back of the net. He'll drive it over to the near side. Held in by Marchand. Try to send it into the slot, and it hit Lindholm in the skate. Marchand, a stick lift, brings it back in, goes to attack, shoots, and this one off a stick and over the glass.
I love that quick re-entry. Good poke check in the neutral zone. Bruins doing a better job at center ice defensively.
Charlie McAvoy with Mark Kastelik, driver to the front of the net, goes wraparound for his 4th of the season. 1-0 Bruins against the Canadians in the Centennial game.
Tonight, immediately following post-game coverage, catch an encore presentation of the final episode of our Bruins Centennial docu-series celebrating 100 years of Bruins hockey. Don't miss A Century of Bruins Hockey, Part 4, Champions, airing tonight on NESN, presented by Plymouth Rock Assurance.
That's a terrific show if you get a chance to watch. Brick, I wanted to follow up on something you mentioned about Harry Sinner. It was so great to hear from him during the ceremony. But there's a quote from Cam Neely in the great coffee table book, Blood, Sweat, and 100 Years. And he talked about being a Bruin. I want to get you that quote here in a second, because it echoed a lot of what Harry had to say. Puck sent into the right corner. Here's McAvoy. Guided up to the near point. He opened the scoring with his fourth. And now the Canadians are going to exit. Hudson up the right side. Osterley grabs it. And the puck is deflected back. And Pastrnak, a steal right of the net. Centered. Primo the save. He dove out. That puck's still free. Pastrnak shoots. He scores! Oh, for David Pastrnak, that had to feel like a century. He gets his first goal in 8 games. 2-0 Bruins.
And it was Pastrnak who made the steal in the offensive zone, but this play really developed back in the Bruins zone where they defend nicely. Montreal trying to get something off the rush, and again, gaps, body position, stick position. Osterley makes the steal. Now he's got his eyes up. He wants to get back into the offensive zone. He looks for Pastrnak. They don't really connect, but the puck is still alive, and Pastrnak makes the steal, makes a great play. It looked like Zacha was going to bury one. Then the rebound was there for Geekie, and that chance went by the boards, but then they stayed with it again. You can see where Pastrnak backs up a little bit, get to the open space in the scoring area, and he buries it stick side high.
That's his team leading 9th, and the Bruins add on. Less than a minute after they open the scoring, and looking for more, they score! It's Mark Kastelik! Kastelik, his 3rd goal in 2 games against the Canadians. 3-0 Bruins. Coyle's the guy who got it left of the net. Coyle with goals in back-to-back games, and the Bruins just tossing it to the Canadians right now.
Body contact in deep on the forecheck. That's what this line can certainly do. They're big, they're strong, they can play heavy, they can force turnovers. Frederick gets in there, Kastelik gets in there. Kastelik has that little sweep on the forehand, and then the puck's up for grabs on the rebound, and it looked like Kastelik was going to get it again, but Coyle took it on his backhand and buried it.
Marty St. Louis is going to try and slow this game down. He's got to call a timeout.
I mean, you think about the goals. Pastrnak, high blocker. Coyle, high blocker. Frederick shot, high blocker, left the rebound for Osterley to find McAvoy for a wraparound.
Marty St. Louis' team has struggled keeping pucks out of the net all year long. They are next to last in the league defensively, and 31st in save percentage.
You know, in teams like this, Montreal, where they are in their development and, you know, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to build. You know, Matheson hits a post. They get nothing for it, and now you're chasing the score, you're down 3. You know, things happen quickly when you're not an elite team or a confident bunch. You lose your share of games, and stuff like that creeps in. All of a sudden, you give up goals in quick fashion.
The Canadians get it back, and they'll feed it in. The Canadians' mantra this year, Brick, was in the mix. That was their hope during this rebuilding process, that they could play meaningful games as late as possible into the regular season. But they come into the action last in the Eastern Conference and in jeopardy of missing the playoffs for the 4th consecutive year. Struble shoots, and that's blocked. The Canadians trying to dig it free. Bruins chip it ahead, but can't get it to connect. And by the way, the Canadians have never missed the playoffs 4 straight years in franchise history. It's only the 3rd time that they've missed it 3 straight years. Kepke grabbed in the near corner. Lohrei scoops it up. He snaps a headman pass. 3-0 Bruins. Just under 6 minutes left in the first. Right point peak. He'll rip it to the far corner. far side. Jack guy looks like he wanted to get something going. Peak. Beecher's not going to be the guy. And again, the Bruins up 3-0. They don't have to say yes to anything. Koepke shoots, deflected over the glass. A barrage here from the Bruins. It started with David Pastrnak. He made it 2-0. Then Charlie Coyle with a backhand in the slot. He's able to drill it home. Bruins up by 3. Presented by GMC, we are professional grade. The greatest of all time. Bobby Orr played from 66 to 75 with the Bruins. And Brick, you brought it up the other day. Orr won the Norris Trophy 8 consecutive seasons from 68 to 75. And a Bruins defenseman has won it an NHL record 14 times. Now that award only came out in 1954, so how many do you think the franchise would have if it was around when Shore, Hitchman, and Clapper were playing?
Several more. But yeah, 8 for Robert Gordon, 5 for Raymond, and 1 for Big Z.
We're going to talk with Ray Bourque a little bit later in the game. Cannot wait. Ray, the all-time leader in games played and points scored as a member of the Boston Bruins. He played 21 years from 79 to 2000. And the other thing that's incredible to me, he was the 8th overall pick in the 79 draft, but he was the 4th defenseman taken.
I remember. And didn't they get that pick from LA?
The third Boston goal scorer, number 13, Charlie
as this puck is set in, directed by Swayman to the far corner.
Assisted by number 47, Mark.
The 3 guys taken in front. Not sure if you remember. Rob Ramage, Craig Hartsburg, Keith Brown.
Yep.
And all really good players, but not on the level of Ray Bourque. Osterley slams it ahead. 3-0 Bruins. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the first. The Bruins looking to improve under their interim head coach to 4-2. And it's a small sample size since Joe Sacco has taken the reins. It's only 5 games, but the Bruins are the best defensive team in the league during that span. The question is, can the offense start to follow as Armia ripped one, and he couldn't fire it cleanly at Swayman. Now Gooley, he'll drive it back of the net. Heineman couldn't hold it. Armia, flip left of the net. Heineman, good check from Carlo. Bruins down to help out. Now Evans shoots, and a chest save made by Swayman. Canadians dig out the puck. Struble bounced it out in front and just wide of the near post. Zadorov's got it. Up the middle to Geeky. Now far side, Pasternak spun around. Zadorov, by the way, fined $5,000 by NHL player safety for a poke on Evgeny Malkin on Black Friday. That came while he was on the bench. Suzuki stops up. Stripped by Coyle. He'll swat it ahead. And the Bruins glove it out to the neutral zone. Frederick kicked it into the Canadiens' end. Caulfield over the line right side. It's set back out in front of Suzuki's drive. Taken in by Swayman. That rolled up on him.
Well, good anticipation by the Bruin goaltender. Read the play nicely. Got squared on the shot in a hurry. Well positioned. Tracks the puck well. No rebound.
Suzuki coming in leading the Canadiens in points with 20. Last year he led the team in both goals and points. And Brendan Gallagher talked about it. He's basically the heartbeat of our team. That's how critical he is. Suzuki originally drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights and came to the Canadiens in the deal that brought Max Pacioretty to Sin City. Beecher drops to Koepke, returns. Beecher darts back of the net. Osterley across. McAvoy, who started the scoring, shoots. He slammed it wide. Primo trying to locate it. Now McAvoy shoots. Koepke got a piece of it. Koepke had a goal and 2 assists in the first meeting between these two. And sadly, there's only one more game between these two after tonight's contest. 3 games is not enough. That'll take place on April 1st in Montreal. Here's Koepke, spreading it out, lightly flips it in. Brazeau chasing, his team changing. Just under 2 minutes left here in the first. Now Slavkovsky crisscrosses over the line, shoots, back of the net it goes. Now Zadorov laid it off the wall and back into the Canadiens' end. Jack-eye spinning. Around to the near side. Carlo pinches. Gloves down the puck. Lindholm shoots. Primo the save. Jack-eye didn't get this out. Played to the middle. Bruins sweep it down low. Will start to change on the fly. Lindholm wrestling with Slavkovsky for the pucks. Back of that, Savard drives it up right wing, and here's Gallagher. He'll march it out to the red line and feed it in.
1 minute left to play in the period.
Now Evans, his pass to the middle picked off. It's safely flipped out by Peak.
Yeah, you've had a real good opening 19+ minutes here in this first period. Finish the period off right. None of these late goals to give the Canadiens any life.
That's what happened here on Black Friday in the second period against the Penguins. Bruins pounded up the left side and back into the Canadiens' end. No icing here. Now Struble, Cumberland, Rhode Island, up the right side. He'll crank it in. Oh, Gallagher, pardon me, Caulfield may have a beef here with the linesman, but we've got an icing call here on the Canadiens.
For this weekend only, leave your legacy inside the walls of TD Garden with an exclusive offer for a puck in the fan foyer. For $500, each discounted package includes an engraved puck that will be displayed on the fan foyer wall of pucks here inside TD Garden, and a commemorative puck to have as a unique memento. Visit bostonbruins.com/fanfoyer and use promo code Black Friday 2024 to save through Sunday.
16 seconds remaining here in the first. Coyle in for the draw. He has one of the 3 Bruins goals. Off the face-off, Coyle lunged out but couldn't reach it. And now Armia will play it to the right corner. 5 seconds left. Osterley traps it. Back of the net. McAvoy's going to eat the puck. In the first 20 minutes of the Centennial game. Goes as well as the Bruins would have hoped. The Bruins with a trio of goals, 70 seconds apart. Dale, Billy, and Barry are coming up next.
Welcome to our first intermission report presented by BuyAToyota.com. Joined here on the desk by two of the greatest to ever wear the black and gold. Two former team captains, by the way, Wayne Cashman and the Chief, Johnny Busick. Was it as much fun to be part of that ceremony, Chief, as it was for us to watch it?
It was. It really built up to this first period. 3 goals, that's great. Haven't done that for a while.
Yeah, we needed that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right here, my first left winger. I come out of camp when I was a rookie. Nobody touched me. Nobody got anywhere near me. The big guy was there. He turned that stick around. He go, I got him. Come on over here. Huh?
Did you looked after this guy?
Oh, he was all right. He took care of himself pretty well. But,
I did say this when you came up in the studio here a few minutes ago. It did my heart good to see you in this building again.
Well, it's great to be back. This was a tremendous ceremony, and the guys all here loved it. You know, it's not done in any other sport, any other team. Not done in baseball, not done in football. The only place it's been done here is in hockey, and it means a lot to the guys that played and part of this organization, this team. This guy is, Mr. Boston Bruins.
Correct.
I'll tell you. I'll stand by him forever.
Chief, you've seen this whole year transpire to the amazing events that that the organization has put together. When you think about everything that they've done, what does that mean to you, knowing that you've been here for so long?
Well, that's why it means so much to me. I've been here so long, and it's nice to see the organization take care of the former players. Like Cash is, they sent an airplane down for him. I had to hitchhike.
They wouldn't let me fly it, though. No, I know. I tell you, the thing that we love so much watching these old highlights and of the not only the Cup teams when you went into the stand, all the other stuff, was that you guys had such a talented team and a set of characters. I mean, you guys were deep, and I think sometimes people got caught up in the characters, didn't realize how good a team you really, really had.
Well, everybody sort of had a job to do.
Yeah.
And that was the character of the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins are like the city. You go out in this town and walk down the street, and you could pick up 20 guys, and you can say, that's a Boston Bruin. Look at that guy. Got a hard hat on. He's going to work. He's going to go home and have a couple of beers. But that's the way we were. We took what the city showed us, and we loved it. And then the city took us, and we had a great time. We'll skip a couple of those stories.
Yeah.
What do you guys think when you see the Montreal Canadiens sweaters? You had so many battles against those guys.
Well, that's past. Even when we play against them, Cash, we never held grudges. We just took care of business when we had to. And he did. He looked after us.
Yeah. Well, everybody had a role. Everybody did their job, and that's when you had success. And we enjoyed it. We believed in each other, and we went out and did what we had to do.
We had Cam on here earlier, and I was telling him what I really enjoyed about this centennial process the whole year was you'd walk in and your teammates would start walking towards you and nothing had to be said. All of a sudden, came the memories, right? Yeah. Some of them you don't want to talk about. I understand, right?
I was talking to the team today, and I said, you got a guy in this room that won the World Championship. He went to the top of the hill. Inside him, he has that. He never has to give that up. And when times are down, he can reach down and get that. I said, when they put the rope out, you grab it and don't let go, because you can have that feeling.
Hey, is that two captains or what? Huh?
I know. Chief, you think about the number of Bruins, former Bruins, who stayed here, who said, this is where I want to make my home, you included. What is it about Boston that kept you guys here?
Well, I just think it's the people, friendliness, they're good and treat you well. The city is great, and everything, the sports here is unbelievable. It's one of the best cities in the world. I started off in Detroit, and it was nothing like this. That was the best move I ever had.
And you didn't have much to do with it either.
No, I was surprised, but I came here, and I was very happy. 67 years later, I'm still here.
So we've been watching the Mother's Day first cup when Orr went through, and you've taken the cup off the ice. What was it like in the old dressing room and the crowd? That was the first time in a while it happened. So
you couldn't even move in the locker room. There was so many people in there, and the guys didn't know really what to say or what they realized what they had happened, but they didn't know what to say because it was so exciting, and it was a great time. Like I just said, we never have to give that up. We always got that right in here.
Cash, have you ever seen a better player than Bobby Orr?
Well, if he is, it isn't on this planet.
We remember the first time you saw him play?
He was 12 or 14 years old. We were at a training camp in Niagara Falls. And this little guy, all these big guys, this little guy goes bombing into the corner, blonde-haired kid, makes a couple circles, and then he comes with the puck, and away he goes. But I was telling the guys that we used to tease Bobby. We played the junior Canadians, and he only played 58 minutes. Because he got a penalty. So we were giving it to him for getting the penalty. You don't get the penalty, we need you.
It was such a thrill this whole night to see you guys, especially. Chief, Cash, thank you very much.
It's great to be back. Good to see you guys, too.
Good to see you guys.
You guys take care.
Great to see you, Cash.
We've got plenty more to come on our first intermission report. Up next, we'll take a look at what happened here in the first period.
Bruins' first intermission report on NESN is presented by BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com.
Game summary presented by BuyAToyota.com. The Bruins score 3 goals in a 70-second span, outshoot the Canadiens 11-8. You couldn't ask for a better start to this game.
Not sure if it was Pasta's helmet or the return of Dale Arnold. One of them.
Credit.
3 goals, and it gets going, and it's Charlie McAvoy scooting down the right side. He's going to go behind the net. Eventually he's going to get the puck, and he's going to put it in. And here you go, the little pickup. Here comes McAvoy, de-shrink it, and then Caden Primo gets stuck outside the crease. Right there, and McAvoy deposits 1-0.
Yeah, and a good job here for checking. Pasternak's able to get the puck. He just misses Zacha, but Geeky and Zacha stay with this. You see Pasternak back up to give himself a little bit more room in that slot.
Nice backhand by Cole to make it 3-0 too.
That'll do it for our first intermission report. After the break, we go up to Judd Surratt and Andy Brickley. Adam Pellerin, they'll be joined by legendary Bruins defenseman, that guy, Raymond Bourque.
Why pay too much for cable?
BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com. Buy Audi. Visit your New England area Audi dealer today. By Sullivan Tire and Auto Service, a 100% employee-owned company. And by GMC. See the pros at your New England GMC dealer. We are professional grade. Well, we're about ready to start the second period here at TD Garden in the Centennial game. And the Bruins on top of the Montreal Canadiens 3-0. And what a treat it is to be welcomed here in the booth by Ray Bourque, the all-time leader in games played and points in franchise history. And Ray, let's start here because you probably have the most unique perspective on it, having played 21 years for this organization. Just what makes it so special to be a Bruin?
Well, whatever you get here, it seems like the culture is always there, and it's passed on from, I mean, I was so lucky to come here with, you know, guys like Jerry Cheevers and Wayne Cashman, and probably 5 or 6 guys that won a cup in 70, 72. And what you learn, you know, Peter McNabb always said that I didn't speak English when I got here. I spoke perfect English, but I just watch and listen. And then when you realize what this organization is all about, then it comes to you to kind of pass it on, and that has been going on for 100 years, and that's why this place is so special.
What was the, I don't like to use the word, but I'll use it anyway. What was the hatred like for the Montreal Canadiens in your first years in Boston?
Well, for me, I grew up in Montreal, so it was, you know, I'm the kid like you, Brick, growing up here, right? Missing school to go to parades, and I was pretty spoiled growing up in Montreal, going to a lot of parades with my buddies, and then you know, I get drafted by the Bruins August 9th, 79, and then it was all over. But I really noticed it when I came here to camp, and that was, you know, after a devastating loss that they encountered 1979 when they were up 3-1 in the third period with too many men on the ice and all that stuff. You could just see how they were so upset, and the hatred whenever Montreal, you play them, or just the thought of Montreal, the talk of Montreal, and I knew that, hey, there was no way I was going to play for Montreal coming out of that draft. And you learn that, you know, hey, the minute you get drafted and you play for a team, you're all in. And I was part of that. But for me, it was just took me a while to play good against Montreal, just because, you know, especially in Montreal, they always tried to do too much, and to kind of get comfortable playing there and not trying to do too much was the case for me. So
Charlie McAvoy, the defenseman, on a breakaway, walks in back and he scores! Charlie McAvoy kisses the crest. He's got 2. Bruins 4. Canadians nothing.
Can we go a hat trick maybe for tonight? FanDuel, what? Come on.
How many did you have?
Jump on that one. I had one. Quebec City.
Well, the Bruins are shorthanded. Zadorov in the box for shooting the puck over the last delay of game. And McAvoy ends up out by the offensive blue line of the Canadians, killing this penalty, and he ends up with the breakaway. And he just makes a straight-ahead move.
This kid is so talented. Amazing. Like, he hasn't even capped the top of it yet. There's more to come there.
Ray, what kind of conversations have you had with McAvoy? Because you talk about the tradition and passing on the tradition. Can you take us inside some of those conversations you've had with Charlie?
There hasn't been much this year, but last year there's a few, and a lot of it is, you know, for me it's power play and kind of walking the line or trying to. I'd like him to see him shoot the puck a little more and establish that shot, and he's got a good one. And I just think he defers sometimes a little more than he should, because I think he should be the captain on that blue line in the backside and just establish that shot. And so much stuff happens off that initial shot. If you establish that shot early, from that point, then Pasternak on the elbow on both sides open up a lot more than just kind of looking for the elbow where they know it's coming.
I like him carrying the puck, too, you know, on the power play. I think he's more of it. He'll take more charge of it. But with the group that he usually plays with, they like that delay. They drop it back for Zach and Pasternak. I'd rather he carried it.
Well, he doesn't. He's amazing with his skating. And just his skating will push people back.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times he'll be able to gain his own and establish, you know, puck possession. So.
For a lot of defensemen, as the Bruins clear this puck down, what's the evolution like learning to be a quarterback in the power play?
Oh, I think you have it before you get here. And then it's just getting comfortable at this level. And if you played power play your whole career and you're one of these guys that is looked on to kind of run a power play, I think it's just a matter of time before you find that comfort zone. And some people it takes a little longer than others, but for the most part, I think they all kind of find that comfortable spot.
And why do you think the reluctance for Charlie to shoot is? You know, we all want him to shoot more, obviously, especially on the power play. Is it looking to make a better play? Is that what's going through his mind, or what do you think it is?
I think it's just, past the scoring 50 goals or deferring. Yeah, he defers. I mean, believe me, I did not defer.
No, didn't have to tell you to shoot twice.
And I've always had the most shots and all that. But ask Cam. I saw Cam Neely in front of the net. I said, I'm getting the puck there. If I'm not scoring, he's tipping it or getting a rebound or something like that. So, you got to take charge. I mean, he should be taking way more shots, and you look at a guy like Makar or some of these guys that just fine. I know it's a lot tougher getting shots through in today's game with everybody blocking shots and sticks in the lane and all that stuff, but you have a moment. You have a moment where that lane is open. Take it. Take it right then and there. The minute you hesitate for a fraction of a second, it closes, and that's what happens a lot with him.
Ray, you're the all-time leading scorer in Bruins history. As the Bruins send us into the far corner, will you see your name at the top of that list or at the top of the list of games played in franchise history? How much pride do you take in that?
I take an amazing and a lot of pride. There was a lot of work and a lot of dedication and passion and stuff. I lived a dream. You asked me, during my career or at the beginning of my career, what do you think you're going to end up doing in this league? I'm like, if I play 10, 12 years, it'll be amazing. I ended up playing 22 years and putting the numbers that I put up. I said I will not talk about myself or what I've done till it's retired. And when I look back on it, I go, wow. I can't believe what I accomplished in this league, and being a blue-collar star, more or less. Rick, you practice against me every day, how I approach the game and how I
3-on-3 down low coverage is always a blast with you.
I brought it every day. I led by example. It wasn't a flashy game, but I'll tell you, it was steady and in your face, and I just tried to be there for my team and my teammates, and did my best pretty much every day.
Yeah, Raymond's best, and he would tell you, Judd, that he never played a perfect game. That was the goal.
And that's why when I talk to kids or people or anybody in the workforce, when you think you've done it perfect, you're not getting better every day. So regardless of what the game was in terms of points or almost, it's, especially this game, it's a game of mistakes. So I was looking for perfection every day, practice or games, knowing that I would never reach it.
Well, it looks like the Canadians have just gotten on the board back door. Swayman having a quick conversation with the linesman as that puck was swatted through him. Cole Caulfield looks like he's put the Canadians on the board with the Bruins on top 4-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure who this is going to bank in off of. There's traffic right on the doorstep of Swayman. We said that Montreal is willing to take bad angle shots. Now the question is, Caulfield, did he get into that crease on his own? Was Swayman allowed to play his position?
Doesn't take much in today's game, right?
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you're up 4-1, is that going to alter your decisions here? We'll take a look. Caulfield gets in there. It looks like it deflected off him.
Counts.
Yeah, that's a good goal. Ray, what would you say that, people talked about your ability to recover, the capacity to have a minute shift, come get a breather for about 10 seconds and do it again?
That was good genes and a man called Benoit Adjuk that was my high school gym teacher when I was 14 years old, that had a track and field team in Montreal, that four of his runners went to the Olympics, and he trained me from the age of 16 years old till I retired, and he made me an athlete more than just a hockey player.
We'll be back with Ray Bourque in just a moment. top 4 went over the Canadiens here in the Centennial game. Ray, you played more games than anybody else in Bruins franchise history. Which game are you asked about the most?
It's Phyllis Pizzito night. I tell you, that's all they talk about. Oh my God, what a! And that was decided at 1 o'clock that afternoon. What was going to happen with that jersey? You know, Phil was told that the number is going to go up with his name, and then when I retire, I'll be next to his name. I got a call from Terry Riley at 1 o'clock that afternoon, and we discussed what we should be doing with that jersey, and that was such a right thing to do. And I was just with Phil yesterday talking about it again, and he brought it up. But it's so true that it was the first time that anybody ever seen Phyllis Pizzito speechless, and his face was like this. Oh my God, he was. I know I made his day. It was so perfect the way it all ended up, because nobody knew other than my wife, trainers, and management of the Bruins, and it was just a fabulous night, and that's what comes up the most.
Oh, Marchand denied out in front, and then cued the rebound wide. I think I've heard you tell the story in the past, but how many people say they were in the building that night?
At least 100,000. And it only held, what, 13-4 something? What a building, though. Oh, my God. Brick, that thing would get rocking, huh?
Yeah.
Trembling sometimes.
The people were just so close to you, close to the action in the old building.
That Chicago Stadium.
Yeah, fabulous.
I remember hearing a story from Scotty Bowman, the old coach, when he was with Montreal. He said there was just something uncomfortable as a visitor.
Yeah, the dressing room. Their dressing room with no hot water and rats and you name it.
Well, you know, it's the Canadiens. You know, I know it was the Maroons, 24, but it's the Canadiens. Talk a little bit about that 88 team that won in the postseason. You know, they call it a season to remember because the Hex was over.
Oh, my God. So I grew up there. I used to go back there every summer and have to hear about it every summer, all summer long. And then 87 was the quietest summer I've ever had in Montreal. But for the whole organization, just seeing Harry Simmons' face after that happened, Taz, just and how we felt about it, and how on a mission we were really to finally win a series against Montreal. Reggie and I, being from there, and we had a little saying that, you know, I can't say, but we'd say it every day, all day long, and we had to create that kind of hate. You know, and it was always kind of there between both teams, with a lot of respect, obviously, for, you know, both teams and their talent. Just an amazing goal right here.
Yeah.
Man, he had Patrick's number.
So in that series, the Bruins dropped game 1, and you swept the next 4.
We got killed, and I just remember that meeting the next morning, and Taz is whipping, like, going up and down and just going nuts. And I just remember Steve Casper standing up and saying, hey guys, hey, it's one game. And then, you know, but we had character guys, we had chemistry, we had a nice group, and we regrouped, and you know, it was just,
come on, you guys were lucky to get by the Devils. And then
in 88.
Oh, we were actually. But yeah, if the referees were friggin' still roughing one game, maybe it would have happened a little quicker.
Death taxes and the first penalty in the Forum. The other highlight that our crew really loves from that 88 series was the fist bump by Reggie Lemelin after he won.
Yeah. Well, that said it all right there. But I'll tell you what it meant to not only our team but our fans that are amazing and always have been amazing. We had to have security at Logan Airport. The state troopers had to form a line for us to get to our cars, like because I think we're charter. But we had, like, there must have been thousands of fans. I'm not saying 10 or 5, but there was 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 people waiting for us when we got home after that game. It was crazy. So the whole friggin' city was so excited about this. And that allowed us, you know, finally to get to a finals.
So you and Brick had a chance to play together from 88 to 92, and there have been 87 New England-born players that have played for the Bruins franchise. Could you tell how special it was for guys like Brick or guys who were from here to play for this team?
Of course. I mean, and I think Brick would agree that, you know, if you're going to play for your hometown team, you probably don't want it to happen out of the box. Go establish yourself somewhere, learn what it takes, and kind of know how everything goes and how you're going to deal with everything. Because if you're out of the box, you're playing here, you got family, friends, and everybody looking for tickets, your time, and whatever. You just want to focus on what you have to do to try to establish yourself as a solid NHL player. So, are we going to break, or we got
icing, baby? No break.
Okay, I thought I heard something, but. So tell me again. I didn't finish that.
87 local players.
Okay.
Players who have been born in New England have played for this franchise, including the man to our right.
And you want them, and I got to say, the man on my right here was one of the most cerebral player that I've ever played with. Whenever I came around that net, or do I tell this all the time? I came around a net, I knew where Brick was going to be. If I needed support anywhere or always in the right position, and he'd just be cruising, you know, not getting stopped for speeding or nothing like that, but always in the right spot. Yeah. So whenever you had a kid from Boston, you always felt that was so special for them and their families that you wanted them to do well. And it was always fun to have some local guys on the team, and a few more French guys would have been fun too, like Patrice Bergeron, or, you know, I was joking about Patrice. You came too late, kid.
You're the best. Ray Bork.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. I'm listening, right, from Florida, but I'm always tuning in.
I know. I get the text.
He gets the text once in a while. And guys, you know what? Anytime, you're more than welcome at Trust Cup, okay? 233 Hanover Street.
Thank you.
You guys? All right, thanks.
Thanks for your time. I love having you up here. Thanks, Ray. Bruins with a 4-1 lead. The two teams have traded goals here in the second period, and we got a trip coming up and a little action behind the play as Jackeye meets a host of guys in black and gold. Kaslik grabs a hold. The linesman won't let it happen. Jackeye just threw a punch while Kaslik was being held.
Yeah, the original penalty was on Montreal. I don't know if it was going to be for tripping or interference. And then Jackeye made contact with Frederick, and that's got it started.
Here we go. Kaslik wants to pull him free. The linesman is not going to let it happen. And now Frederick is barking away with Guylaine Hebert. And they're going to sort things out as things finally start to calm down for the time being.
We'll go back and see where the penalty was right there. Lane Hudson kind of doing a crossover. I don't even think he meant to do what he did, but the referee felt that there was enough there for a penalty. I believe it was on Montreal because they blew the play dead when Montreal had possession.
Number 47 has 2 minutes for roughing, 10-minute misconduct. Montreal number 72 has 2 minutes for roughing, 10-minute misconduct. Montreal number 48 has 2 minutes for tripping. 5-on-4, Boston.
So they're going to settle some of those combatants down, and the Bruins will have their first power play of the game. They've already scored shorthanded here in the second period. Charlie McAvoy getting his second of the game. The Bruins, if you're just joining us, scored 3 times in 1:10 in the first period.
Yeah, and because of the amount of penalty minutes both those players received, right, Jack and Castelli, they'll make their way to the respective locker rooms.
Joe Sacco yesterday changed up some of his power play units, and what he's hoping for is some more, obviously not just the goals, but it's unpredictable play, shots, rebounds, regroups that can hopefully get the man advantage jump-started.
Well, we'll see how, what's the word, prescient that Ray Bork was talking about McAvoy, working the blue line, shot mentality, hat-trick possibilities.
Off the draw, it's hacked over to the near side by the Canadians and cleared all the way down. McAvoy wings it back for Pasternak. He's got one today. Flip to the near corner. He was looking for Zacha in flight, and the Canadians grab it. 2-on-2, they come the other way. Anderson wings to the middle. And it's rimmed around to the near side. Oh, Pasternak's going to get a 2-on-1. Look at this. Out of the line left side with Marchand. Across, it's blocked. And cleared. It's a Bruins Ford Bronco horsepower play.
And not to be lost in that sequence right there was the good defensive play of Elias Lindholm, protecting back defensively.
Bruins lose it up top. Armia will scramble back. Right circle, his shot. Swayman the save, and then he had to reach behind him, so that didn't sneak through the 5-hole.
Yeah, Montreal tried to make a 3-on-2 shorthand. And when the play doesn't develop and the puck goes around the boards, now the Bruins get a 2-on-1 as a result. I mean, you got 3 Canadians deep in the offensive zone here. I get it, you're down 3 and you're pressing any offensive opportunity you're going to try to take to get back in this hockey game, but it led to that 2-on-1, but it was defended well. Thought Pasternak was going to rip that one.
He leads everybody in the National Hockey League in shots on goal. Picked up his 9th earlier today. Bruins hammer it down low. Primo got a piece of it. Bruins on the power play, another 50 seconds. Coyle took a funny hop, almost went to Frederick. Frederick, nice play to free this puck. Coyle, out far side, Brazo, spun it out in front, missed 2 Bruins. Lori scrambles to the middle. Oh, his pass broken up. Now he's got to defend. Evans waits, he's got a guy driving. It's sent into the slot and fired, and Swayman stops that changeup. Coyle carries ahead. Over the line left side to Frederick. To the corner, back of the net. Brazo traps it. And the Canadians cleared all the way down. 9 seconds left in the power play. Geekie, 2-on-1, into the slot, shoots, Primo to save the rebound. Primo stops Beecher. And it's cleared all the way down. No icing.
Long change for the Canadians. They try to make a change, and Swayman recognized it, quick up. Then to another 2-on-1. That time, Geekie ripped it.
Zadorov will hammer it in. Around it comes. Back of the net, Matheson over to the near side. And Dvorak flings one out to center ice. The Bruins break that up. It flutters in the slot in the Bruins' end. To Carlo. 7 minutes to go here in the second. 4-1 Bruins here in the Centennial game. Now Zadorov ripped it in. Along the near side, McLaughlin took the hit, sent it back of the net to the corner. Koepke right of the net. Now Lindholm out in front, shoots off the post. Rebound, batted up top and just beyond the Bruins stick. Lindholm, who scored in the home opener against the Canadiens, will chop it deep. Back of the net, Brazeau, centered. Just out of the reach of a couple of Bruins and all the way down.
Second time the Bruins just right in between those passes.
Brazeau, back of the net. Locks up with one of the Canadiens, trying to get his stick free. Bruins create a turnover. Lindholm sent it back of the net. Brazeau still being held. Marchand centered out in front, and the Canadiens get a piece of that.
Lindholm was parked out front looking for another chance. Had a chance earlier, short side off the post.
Caulfield drops, Suzuki, Caulfield shoots, Swayman slides over, makes the stop. Here's Hudson. Holds. Right of the net, Gooley. And that deflects off Osterley and over the glass. 5.5 minutes left here at TD Garden, and the Bruins up 4-1.
That includes an event yesterday at Matthews Arena where it all began for the Bruins 100 years ago. The Pass the Torch Showcase featuring Willie O'Ree, who of course broke the NHL's color barrier back in 1958 with the Bruins. It was an event to promote inclusivity in the game of hockey, which featured players from the Hockey is for Everyone program, which O'Ree has promoted since its inception back in 2017, guys.
Thanks, Adam. Willie O'Ree looking great for 89 years old.
Yeah, incredible.
What a legend. What a terrific human being. Great to see him and so many legends that are here in the building and so many who took part in the Bruins centennial anniversary celebration. Bruins closing out a century of action, looking ahead to the next 100 years. Here's a live look at the anytime goal scorer odds on FanDuel. Oh, Brad Marchand, the captain, just a moment ago. He almost potted one. He's plus 450. Justin Brazeau looking for his first shot here in tonight's game, but he's been around it tonight. Pavel Zacha's starting to heat up. Picked up a couple of big goals for the Bruins in the third period on Long Island 2 games ago. Now Anderson lobs it back to the Bruins line. The Bruins glove it down, and Doc swings it in offside.
Well, just as we said in the final minute of the first period, now you got to manage these 5 minutes here in period 2. You're in total control of this hockey game, up 4-1. Again, your defense has been very good. You've done a nice job with gap control in the neutral zone. You protected the house pretty well in defensive end. You needed a couple of saves from Swayman. I like the one he made on Armia, short-handed with the left pad. You don't want to give up a shorty in this situation, trying to extend the lead to 5-1. So finish off this second period here in these final 5 minutes with a purpose.
Pasternak rips it in from center ice, gloved by Primo. So we'll have a face-off at the Montreal end.
It's nice to catch up with Raymond.
Oh, what a tremendous person and what a career. 21 seasons here as a Bruin. First with 1,518 games played. He won the Norris Trophy 5 times, the first in 87. And he was a guy, what I think is so fascinating about Raymond Brick is that he spanned generations. So when he started in 79, it was sort of the end of the lunch pail AC into the 80s, through the 90s to 2000.
Yeah, you have to evolve as a player as the game evolves, certainly. And you know, Raymond not only was able to do that, he was able to be a star through that evolving career that he had. And it was amazing. You know, he referenced practicing, you know, down low coverage going against him. I mean, his practice habits, nobody better.
Pasternak left to the cage, shakes out in front. That puck is available. And it's carried ahead and out to center ice. And Brick, just how much did those practices set the tone for the team?
Oh, I mean, it was the very fabric of what we did as a group. I mean, you know, the way Ray practiced, how could you not practice with that same kind of intensity and that same kind of purpose when your best player would practice that way? I mean, literally, you know, when he's able to talk to some of these young, like a Mason Lorak, talented kid, going to have a good career, the things he needs to learn, a lot of it is just be firmer with everything you do. And that would be the message from Raymond to a guy like Mason. Be firmer in everything, because that's the way. You knew you got hit by him when you were doing, you know, forechecking drill, low coverage drill, whatever it was, you know, and it was clean and it was through the body. He'd even let you know he was coming at times because, you know, it's still practice and you're still teammates.
There's a former player who tells a story about playing against Raymond Bourque, and it was late in the season and the Bruins were already guaranteed to go into the playoffs. The game didn't necessarily have any meaning, and the Bruins were leading by a wide margin in the game. Late in the game, he's cutting across the middle and Bourque just drilled it. He's like, I wasn't expecting it. Matheson sent it off his stick and into the far corner. But his point was basically it didn't matter what time, what game, what point of the season, Raymond played one way.
Yeah, legendary story when Mike Milbury was coaching, and you know, we had a wagon, we had a good team, we were the best team in the league that year in terms of points. But during the season, we had an all-star break. We went into the break on a hot streak and go enjoy yourself, have a couple of good days, but be ready to come back and go to work. And the first game back was in Winnipeg. They weren't very good that year, and we played terrible. So we went to Vancouver. We had a legendary practice, and Mike let us know what he thought of our performance and what our weaknesses were in our game. And then we practiced on our own after Mike was done yelling at us. And I think Ray had a 5-point night the next night to say, yeah, message received.
Canadians trying to chop the puck out in front. Swayman had to be alert. The Bruins sweep it out of danger, and then out in front, Swayman knocked down Suzuki. Suzuki gave him a little whack. That's going to draw Zadorov, and now Newhook. Remember, Jack-Eye was given 2 and a 10. So right now he's in the dressing room. He's one of the heavyweights around the National Hockey League. Marchand chipped it back of the net to the far corner. Just under 3 minutes left in the second. Suzuki had it and lost it. And now Beecher steams in, left circle. Centered, sent just wide by Koepke. McLaughlin kept it in with a glove. Koepke's got it. McLaughlin trying to change, prevented by one of the Canadians. Now Koepke in the corner, little space, sent it out in front. Primo trying to trap it. And finally covers up in the blue paint looking for Pasternak.
John Beach, one of the fastest straight-ahead skaters, certainly in a Bruins uniform, and he's just going to challenge Matheson, who's a good skater himself. Just beats him to the outside, makes a play to Koepke. That just misses. And then the Swayman little knockdown of Suzuki. Getting involved. Hey, it's Boston, Montreal. Don't leave me out of it.
Oh, I guarantee he wants to be a part of this. He understands the tradition. McAvoy across off the faceoff win. Montreal read it. We're looking for Pasternak in the near circle. Osterley scraped it up the far side. Tapped ahead, Zacha now out to center ice. 3-on-2 for the Bruins. Osterley joins. Backhands across. It didn't get to Pasternak. Zacha having to play a little D. And now Gouli with it. He'll rip it in. Evans with 1:40 remaining in the second. Bruins on top 4-1. Osterley back of the net. Grabbed by Josh Waugh, playing in only his 4th game this year. Up top now Savard. Shoots. Deflected just right of the net. Geeky knocked down, looking for a call. He won't get it.
Sure looked like interference. That puck never even came in his neighborhood.
Puck sent up the middle, and it's deflected deep. And now it's drilled over to the far side. I thought it was interesting, Brick. If you go back and look at the box score for the Bruins' first ever game, I think the Bruins were called for the first 5 penalties and 9 of the first 11.
Wow.
And I think that was the precursor to death taxes in the first penalty in the form from Harry Sinden.
Good penalty killing group.
Bruins won that game 2-1 against the Montreal Maroons. For the Maroons, it was their first ever game as well. Struble shoots. Swayman the save. And then out in front, Duck! Wanted to try and get a piece of that. And the Bruins will immediately come and engage him. Frederick and Anderson come out of the pile.
Well, it's a shot from long distance, from the point. Swayman's got to track it. Doc's in there tight. He takes a chop at it on the backhand into Swayman's body. Bruins react.
Kirby Dach last year played only 2 games and then tore his ACL and his MCL against the Blackhawks in mid-October. And it's been a difficult campaign the season following. He's got 1 goal and 8 points. He was the 3rd overall pick by the Blackhawks back in the 2019 draft. And by the way, if you're wondering who's your leader here on December 1st for the Green Jacket, it's him, -18. Here's Hudson. Send it into the slot. Canadians couldn't scoop it up. Marchand will float it out to center ice. Thought that was knocked down by a high stick. Apparently not. Bruins hack it ahead. Can't get it out. Look out. Carlo blew a tire. Caulfield. Hudson shoots, and Swayman a chest save. And Zadorov makes sure that Swayman doesn't have to deal with anything else out in front.
Well, pretty comfortable position for Boston to be in here through 2 periods, up 4-1. I know there's 1.7 seconds left here, but go out on a limb and say it's going to stay 4-1. But they're in a comfortable spot. They've earned it. Now it's about playing a full 60. Prepare for that 3rd period. Come out with that killer instinct in the 3rd period. Don't sit back. Keep taking it to Montreal. They're not a great defensive team.
Beecher in for the draw against Dvorak. with 1.7 seconds left. Bruins win the draw, paddle it all the way down, and we're through 40 minutes here in the Centennial game. Each team with a goal in that second period. Charlie McAvoy scored shorthanded. He's got 2 today, and the Bruins with a 4-1 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Dale, Billy, and Barry are coming up next. Rick Middleton and Terry O'Reilly will join them.
New England Ford dealers, Dale, Billy, Barry, joined by 2 of the greats, 2 guys whose numbers are hanging in those rafters. Rick Middleton and Terry O'Reilly are with us. I was trying to do the math and I can't do it. How many goals do you think in the history of this team you both figured in on the same goal?
Well, I'm not sure, but what
I did math once about the number of points, not just goals, but points. And we had something like 610 points in 3 years together.
Wow!
And to put that into perspective, Gretzky only has 618.
Yeah. Hey, but hold it. Be careful. That's Nifty's math. Okay. When you look it up, it may be a little different.
It might not be exact.
So we had.
He had 550. I had 75.
Oh no, you had 550 p.m. Yeah. You had the penalty minutes.
We had 2,000 minutes together.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Hey, Terry, I want you to take us onto the ice. Did you see that scrum that the players got 2 and 10? A little different called this time or nowadays than compared to when you were crowd on the ice?
Well, you know, the referees are a little quicker to get in, and I think they were a little reluctant to get in when we were messing around. They had fewer bodies to get off the ice.
What would you do if you got a guy coming in? Jack guy may have caught the linesman with a little something,
It looked like he caught one on the
right in the end of the nose.
Yeah,
right there. Look at him.
How many times did you accidentally meet and greet an official?
Andy Von Hellman got in my way once.
But you were sorry about it later.
I very much was.
know.
Yeah.
And Morrell.
I was going after Dale Hunter. He had just speared me, and Andy was trying to stop me.
But you didn't deserve it, right? When he gave it to you?
When he speared me?
Yeah.
Oh, of course not.
But did you deserve it when Van Hellemond gave you the penalty?
So you remember when you were...
yes.
Okay.
You remember when you were in Philly in those days, and we'd go in for our exhibition games that would be about 6 hours long, right? And they dropped the puck, and Peter McNabb and I always joked about this. And if you were on the ice, you'd feel the same way. They dropped the puck, and all of a sudden, everybody would drop their gloves. All 5 guys would grab me, or they would grab him, and he'd be skating around looking for somebody, and I'm going, "Are you kidding me?"
Terry, we showed the footage earlier of the night at Madison Square Garden, and you know, I could sort of see Terry O'Reilly going over the boards and getting involved. I couldn't picture Peter McNabb doing that.
Well, he was my buddy and my teammate. He was coming up to look after me. Actually, all of you guys.
Well, the guy that came down the steps was the guy's brother that Terry grabbed.
Yeah.
So when he came down and jumped on Terry, Peter was the next guy over.
Yeah.
He saw Peter coming. He ran back up the steps. And then enter Mike Milbury, who was in the hall with me. He had no idea what happened.
And he
got out
chased
quickly.
He chased the guy up to the top.
Yeah, took his shoe off.
Yeah, beat him with his own shoe.
When you guys think Montreal Canadiens, what comes to mind for each of you?
They ain't what they used to be.
No, I always said that you always had to be at the top of your game. I mean, you knew they were going to force you to not make mistakes and play as good as you could, and you might have a chance to beat them, especially in 77, 78 when they had such a great team. But we knew we could beat them in 79, and we came within that close to do it.
Yeah.
I said earlier tonight there are 12 retired numbers in those rafters. You guys have 2 of the 12. Taz, what did it mean to you when they put your number up there?
Greatest honor to a hockey player, to a Boston Bruin, to finalize and summarize your career. It was my home. Came down here when I was 19 years old. Never left. So.
And in your case, Nift,
well, after 30 years, I said, I can die a happy man now. At the age of 65.
How about this entire year? This is kind of the cap, the ending of it, the cream on the crop a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a great year, a great ceremony. We used to, in the old days, always look at Montreal and say, look how they do their performance. It was the top, the Bruins right up there now. This is so much fun.
Yeah. And I'd just like to say, being up there with Nifty and Ray Bork, 2 of my former teammates and my co-captains when I was coaching. I called them both in and asked them to be co-captains, and
which was another great honor
to be up there beside each other. It's great. I look up there, and my heart warms. So.
What was it like standing in the hallway and the players coming in between you and bumping fists on their way out?
I thought it was great. I mean, and they really appreciated it, too, because they know the history, if they've been watching it at all over the years, seeing the tapes. And they really got pumped. Look at the score today.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking credit for that now?
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
All I could think of was how young they looked. Did I look that young?
2 of the great players in the history of this team. 2 of the great nicknames, too. Nifty and Taz, it's great to visit with you guys. Thanks very much. We've got plenty more to come on our New England Ford dealers. Second intermission report. Up next, we'll take a look at the second period when even Jeremy Swayman got a little feisty.
The second period intermission.
today's game. Fans all over getting a chance to see this historic game on the big screen. That is pretty cool. Our second period game summary is brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Bruins having themselves a night so far. Shots are dead even, but the Bruins have the decided edge in play 4-1. And speaking of having a night, Charlie McAvoy's having himself a night.
Sure is. Had that first goal.
By the way, I'll get you to tonight's electric moment presented by the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning, the only EV that can call itself an F-150. Rookie. Me.
Is your first time at this?
A little premature highlightization right there. Here we go going to the back end.
Be careful there, big fella.
Charlie McAvoy going to the back end as he brings it down the ice. And it's the speed right here. This is the key to this goal here, Barry, is he keeps, obviously, the speed of getting chased. Primo, he has to get set. He has got so much speed going, he goes to the back end, freezes him, and then he kisses the crest after scoring.
To your point right here, look, accelerate through the neutral zone. He gets this little move like he's going to go to the forehand, and he goes to his backhand. He's got 3 shots. He's +3. We haven't seen that for a while. So a lot of the things, you could tell early on that this game he was ready because he got physical early, moving his feet early. That's what you need to see.
Hey, take it to break.
I'll see if I can figure this out. That's it for the New England Ford Dealers second intermission report. After the break, we get you back to Judd Surratt, Andy Brickley, and Adam Pellerin.
You know I'm a dreamer.
Audi dealer today. By Viva Tequila Seltzer. Grab yours today at Shaw's and Star Market locations throughout New England. By Subaru of New England. Fall in love with a brand new Subaru. SubaruofNewEngland.com. And by GMC. See the pros at your New England GMC dealer. We are professional grade. Well, we're moments away from the start of the third period here. The Centennial game. Bruins on top 4-1 over the Canadians. Let's head down to Andrew Raycroft.
Thanks, John. It's been a great day, a great first 40 minutes. Hopefully the Bruins close this one out. David Pastrnak entered the game with no goals in 7, no goals in 9 on home ice, but that all changed with a rocket over Caden Primo's right shoulder, and that's why he is the Duncan Fuel performer of the game. In the 15 previous games against the Montreal Canadiens, the Bruins are 14-0-1. David has 12 goals, 13 assists, and 25 points, but he has never looked this good in a warm-up. I'm curious. I know this is a Kenny Linsman special. This is right out of Kenny's basement. He wears these at the alumni game still, and I wonder, I'm very curious, guys, if he breaks this out for the next warm-up now that he got on the board in the first period.
You gotta stay hot.
Gotta stay.
I love that helmet. You can kind of spot it in the warm-up. Obviously, he's wearing something a little bit different now. But, Brick, what can one goal mean for a guy like that?
A lot. I mean, we go back talking about it when he had the empty netter that came off the board for playing it with a high stick. That might have got him untracked.
So Pastrnak and the Bruins working left to right here in this third period. He actually went through a 9-game goal-scoring drought back in the 2021 season. As this puck is flipped in. And he was part of a 3-goal outburst for the Bruins in the first period. They scored 3 times in 70 seconds. Koepke with a steal. He's had a strong game today to the middle. Coyle, backhand, he scores! Charlie Coyle's got 2 goals today. Bruins with a quick start in the third, leading 5-1.
That's the killer instinct you're thinking of. Early third period, first minute of action. You get your 5th of the afternoon or the evening. Good back check by Koepke in the neutral zone. Newhook's pass is stolen. Now the Bruins have numbers coming across the blue line. The back check isn't intense enough from Montreal, and Coyle's allowed to take this puck from the high slot all the way to the crease. Backhand, forehand tuck.
And for the Bruins, that is their first third-period goal on home ice since the home opener against Montreal. Well, the Bruins were limited as we had Pastrnak on a break. He's going to wheel into the slot. Got a guy on him, and Struvel's able to bump the puck off his stick. Now it's drilled by Zacha, and the Bruins are feeling it. Up top, McAvoy. He's got 2 goals today as this puck is flipped into the Bruins zone. But, Brick, where I was going, the Bruins 2 games ago, 6 on Long Island. They only had 1 against the Penguins. But the offense showing some signs of life.
Yeah, even that Vancouver game when they got shut out, they had unbelievable chances to score. So, you know, you're kind of thinking, you're just hoping it's a matter of time. The 6 in Long Island was great to see. I know one was an empty netter, but to see 5 here and still got plenty of time left here in the third period.
Well, Charlie Coyle mentioned it. We've got to trust our game. We've got to stay with our game. If we stay within that structure, then things start to open up. Brazo steers it to the right corner. And the Canadians trying to dig the puck out. It comes to Peak at center ice. He'll fire it in. And one of the Canadians has lost his stick. That was Grueling, so the Bruins can take advantage. Scooped up by Slavkovsky as the referee will pick up the discarded shaft of Gouley's stick.
Scoring from Koepke at 21 seconds.
Montreal completing some changes. Here's Armia. Koepke got a little help, but Beecher couldn't get the puck out. Back of the net, Zadorov hacked it around to the far side. Tapped by McLaughlin out to center ice. Hudson dished it ahead. to the slot. They score. Ripped in by Heineman. And it's 5-2 Bruins now.
Yeah, one of the few times the Bruins gave up their blue line a little too easily. That's a bullet of a shot on a one-timer. Heineman just rips this thing from about the top of the circle.
I'm here.
Play gets into the neutral zone, quick up by the Montreal Canadiens. But the Bruins had backed off the blue line. Thought they could have got up a little bit tighter, a little bit quicker, but didn't happen. Good play by the Montreal Canadiens and a great release by Heineman.
For Heineman, that's his 6th goal of the season. Last year he made his NHL debut. He played 4 games with the Habs. So the two teams have traded goals here in the first 2.5 minutes of the third. Puck jammed around to the near side. Bruins steered up right wing and play it out to center ice. Bruins are going to have Monday off, and then they've got another back-to-back set coming up. They're going to host the Detroit Red Wings here at TD Garden on Tuesday and head to Chicago and see the Blackhawks on the road on Wednesday. And we've got to stop and play. Ankle Cam is presented by Arbella Insurance, here for Bruins fans, here for good.
Well, after a very nice celebration ceremony celebrating the 100 years of Bruins hockey, the Bruins came out, had a ton of energy. Get a look at the goals from the ankle cam. McAvoy with the wraparound. Pasternak rips one top shelf over the blocker. Coyle does the same on the backhand. Great start for the Bruins in period 1.
Charlie Coyle able to finish it off there, and with 2 goals here today, give Coyle 7 on the season. Last year at a career high 25. Peak drills it in. Back of the net, Hudson. He's from Holland, Michigan. His dad played college hockey at a program that no longer exists in the old CCHA, UIC. Kastelik. Got a little help. Coyle will feed it in. Coyle nearly with a steal in the right corner. Held in by Kastelik. And it hit one of the Canadians. Heineman will carry it out. Heineman originally drafted by the Panthers. Bruins cue it to the near side and Peak. Up the left side, scrambling in is Lori. Bruins changing as this puck goes deep. Gallagher dished it to the middle of Jack-Eye. Deflected down low, Gallagher. Back of it, Carlo tries to swat it free, cannot, and Swayman puts his glove on top of a bouncing puck.
Viva Tequila Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of Boston Bruins coverage on NESN. Grab yours today at Shaw's and Star Market throughout New England.
Gallagher's going to stay on the ice. He's having a bounce-back campaign. 8 goals here early in the season. That's already halfway to what he had all of last year. Canadians win the draw. But the pass to Savard a little deep. Zadorov tried to close. Puck to the far side. Kepke chopped it by Jack-Eye. And the Canadians will have to come back out. Puck sent deep. We got icing here on the Habs. Joe Sacco has the opportunity to change with a face-off coming back. And the Canadians having to keep the same group on. David Pasternak will step back onto the ice. Sitting on 9 goals. That leads the team. Geeky's going to take the draw. Bruins win it. McAvoy fires. Primo the save. The rebound just hopped away from Geeky. If you're wondering, the last hat trick by Bruins defenseman Zdeno Chara, January 17, 2011 against Carolina. Puck sent deep into the Bruins zone. Dvorak back of the net, played around to the far side. Gets it back to the dot. His pass looking for Slavkovsky's broken up. Matheson to the right circle, sent to the near side, corralled by Anderson. He shot it short side and wide. Anderson gets it back. Across it goes. Snapped on net. Swayman the save and then swept the rebound away from Slavkovsky. Long drive. Sails to the left of Swayman. Off the stick of Matheson. And now Zaka up the far side. You got some Bruins in flight. But they're going to break off and change. Now Anderson with a little bump out in front. He's barking at somebody on the Bruins bench.
That was Slavkovsky and McAvoy that did a little something to each other on their way to their benches. And that was just a continuation.
Here's Hudson. He'll drill it up the middle to Suzuki. A body check from Kastelik. Back of the net, Zadorov chopped it around. Cooley to Hudson. Tried to get a return feed. Kastelik stayed with him. Hudson tried to use the referee as a pick. Now Suzuki's drive, new hook, couldn't tip it. Picked off by Zadorov. He's got a couple guys breaking. To Coyle. Already scored in this period. Out in front, Frederick shoots, blocked. Coyle, centered, and Kastelik couldn't grab it. Suzuki wheels in. Caulfield shoots, they score! The Canadians with the last two. And the Bruins lead has been trimmed to 2.
This is like one of those sequences that used to haunt you when you were watching the Bruins play the Canadians back in the day when they couldn't beat them in the playoffs, where you get an unbelievable couple of chances at one end. That being one of them right there, the pass from Coyle looking for Kastelik. They had set up Frederick in the high slot just prior to that. And then on the ensuing rush down the ice, we talked about Caulfield and his release. Nice little stop, cut back move, create a shooting lane for yourself. And this squeezes right through the legs of Jeremy Swayman. Got a hockey game here, 5-3.
So Caulfield now with 2 goals today. He came in tied for 9th in the league in goal scoring. Give him 16 now in the year. Last year at a career high 28. And that changes the tenor of this period significantly. Armia tapped it just inside the Bruins line. To Peak. Up the middle, space, Brazeau walks in, shoots, Primo the save. Marchand's on it up top, Peak shoots, blocked, rebound, chip to the near side, Lindholm fires, looking for Marchand back door. Marchand gets it back, it hopped by him. And the Canadians with it. Primo's biggest save of the day. Puck set up the right side. Brought in by Gallagher. Centered. Bruins get a stick on it. And they'll burst the other way. McLaughlin over the line to Koepke. Somebody's lost a stick. This is set off the side of the cage. McLaughlin. Oh, he couldn't grab it and corral it. And Primo covers up. 12 minutes to go here in the 3rd period. The Bruins lead now 5-3.
Game, and you can celebrate in style at the Pro Shop, powered by 47, with the Centennial Game Retail Collection. Plus, score 20% off and free shipping now through tomorrow at midnight when you shop online at bostonproshop.com. Now, Andrew Peak with a nice lead pass. Justin Brazeau is going to walk in unmolested inside the dots. Tries to go blocker side, about halfway up the net. Good stop by Primo. And then Mark McLaughlin trying to pull that puck through the blue paint to the far side. Couldn't manage to do so.
David Pastrnak on the ice. Just over 12 minutes left here in regulation. Bruins trying to improve to 12, 11, and 3. They came into the action 2 points behind Philadelphia for the last wild card spot. Only 1 point, however, behind Tampa for third place in the division. Puck sent out in front. Geeky's tip. And Primo another big stop.
Great look for Pastrnak.
Back in the Bruins zone, Osterley. Anderson on him. Canadians have picked up the tempo. Now Zaka hands to McAvoy. Pastrnak in flight over the line. Across, Zaka to the slot. McAvoy tried to pull and drag it out in front. And now Slavkovsky with it. To Anderson. Spins. Stripped to the puck by Pastrnak. Both teams starting to change. Now McAvoy. Up the right side to Peak. Advance to Frederick. Turned it over just as he entered. Bruins get it back. Swing it in. No icing here. Primo plays it to the corner. His dad Keith played a long time in the National Hockey League. Suzuki drops up top. Caulfield shoots. Blocked. Rebound. Sent out by Castellan. Bruins get it back. Get back on side. Coyle. Right of the net. Back in the cage. Had to send it into the slot looking for Marchand. Somebody's lost a glove. And Hudson scoops it up. Caulfield flipped it in. Bruins driving ahead now. Marchand to the middle. Brazeau robbed earlier in the period. Stops. Centers. Tap to the near side. We got a penalty.
Now the Bruins have possession of the puck, Judd. It looks like it's going to be on Boston for a slash.
So Brad Marchand heads off, and the Bruins going to the penalty kill. Up 5-3.
Marchand posted up for the breakout. Then he made a nice pass to Brazeau from wing to wing in order to get that puck into the offensive zone. But as Marchand made his way up into the offensive end, slashed down on the stick, he'll go to the box.
Second power play chance here for the Canadians.
Now this is the Canadians' opportunity. There's the stick work by Marchand, and the reason he's in the box.
Bruins have cut down considerably in the amount of penalties that they have taken. They've now taken the third most.
Didn't I see Coyle's stick broken in half on a chop first shift?
Or Geeky knocked down where the puck was nowhere near him? No, I didn't see that.
Well, I'm just, trying to be consistent with the chopping of sticks.
Caulfield fades to the near corner. Left of the net. Out of the near side, Caulfield. Matheson up top, walking the line. Suzuki shoots, and that's deflected off a Bruins stick and over the glass.
Big PK here. Take 2 minutes off the clock if you get a quality penalty kill right here. Maintain your 2-goal lead. Montreal, they're thinking cut this lead to 1 with a power play strike.
And the Bruins, by the way, have a shorthanded goal today. Comes from Charlie McAvoy. Down the slot, Matheson shoots off the post. Oh, Swayman looked like he got wiped out in the blue paint. And somehow that puck stays out.
Well, the Bruins couldn't get free off the draw to challenge Matheson. And Matheson was able to take that puck from the right point and just cruise right into the high slot. Traffic in front of Swayman. Swayman trying to fight his way through that traffic. Who's that, Anderson? No, Doc. That's Kirby Doc. Trying to get, obviously makes contact with the Bruin goaltender. Did Carlo shove him in would be the question. But the puck at the post fell back into the crease.
I don't think that would have counted. Bruins win the draw, but the Canadians, good second effort by Suzuki to win it back. He dove headlong to get it to the far side. Now Suzuki. Bruins short for another minute 20. Bruins with a steal, and here they come. Lindholm will feather it down, and the Bruins will make some changes. 9:25 remaining in regulation. 5-3 Bruins. Suzuki ripped it over the line, angled in by Doc. We got an icing call. Bruins will have their pick where they want to take the face-off. Johnny Beecher is going to elect to take it on his strong side in the far circle. And Suzuki wins this. 1 minute to go on the Marchand penalty. This pass a tweener, and the Bruins can capitalize by grabbing it. Koepke turns, and he'll loft it all the way down. 45 seconds left in the Marchand penalty. Now Suzuki coming up ice. To the near side, Caulfield. He has 2 of the 3 Canadians' goals. Matheson. Right of the net, Suzuki. Matheson. Caulfield, it's sent out in front. Swayman, a good stop, and Gallagher trying to dig away as Swayman was able to shut the 5-hole.
Oh, well-executed play by the Montreal power play. Able to use the strong side with Caulfield to touch back into the bumper. Slavkovsky with the shot. Gallagher looking for the redirect and or the rebound. Good stop, Swayman.
Gallagher remains on. Former 30-goal scorer in the NHL. Bruins short for another 21 seconds. A face-off win and a clear is going to take off most of the time, but it's Montreal who wins it. Hudson sent it to the near corner. Gets it back up top. Canadians send it over to the far side. Hudson. Left of the net. Send it out in front. Swayman the save, and the Bruins poke it free. Marchand's out of the box, but they didn't clear. Newhook. His pass. Lindholm got a piece of. Sent off the side of the cage. Swayman got a piece of that. Armia tried to center. Marchand with it. He'll drag it out to center ice. The Bruins changing it, and he'll scrape it deep. A huge penalty kill. Hudson over the line right side. Evans walks by Osterley. The long shot coming in did not get to Swayman. On edge, held in by Hudson. Now McAvoy with it. He'll walk his way to the far side. Backhands it ahead. Now Zacha. Right of the net. He was grabbed. Right of the cage. Zacha with a shot. We got a penalty, absolutely. And holding will be issued to the Habs. Bruins to the power play, up 5-3.
Montreal number 48 has a 2-minute minor for holding.
Together, let's drive. Well, a special pregame ceremony. All sorts of Bruins legends on hand. Willie O'Ree, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, Johnny Busick. As the Bruins look back on their 100-year history and they immortalize some of the legendary moments in franchise history and then pass the puck to the next generation.
Yeah, watching that ceremony and seeing those players come out, Judd, you know, the Orr, Esposito, Busick, Cashman, that reminded me of my youth. And then when you saw Nifty and Taz come out, that was more like my teenage years watching those Bruins play. And then teammates like Raymond and Cam. And then the broadcasting years and the Stanley Cup Championship of 11. I mean, all those emotions and thoughts raced through your head watching that ceremony.
McAvoy saw Anderson was breaking. He read it. Bruins on the power play. Up by 2 with just under 7 minutes left. It's a Bruins Ford Bronco horsepower play. Marchand across. Pasternak shoots. Primo got a piece of it. That was a rocket. And he grabs it with his glove.
I like when McAvoy does this, when he eschews the delay and carries the puck, because if the teams are going to defend, expecting the delay, hang on to it, you'll gain entry. He attacks the middle of the blue line, passes it across to Marchand, and then now you find that nice back diagonal to Pasternak coming late.
David Pasternak playing in his 700th game as a Bruin, 7th all-time in goals and 10th in points in franchise history. Lindholm across. Pasternak, snap to McAvoy. Zacha bumps to the middle, send it across, and that rocket finds neutral ice. Handed to Zacha. 1:13 remaining in the Hudson penalty. Pasternak steers easily around Evans. Back of the net, Lindholm. Canadians converge. The Habs penalty kill has been good overall, but on the road it's struggled. It's 25th, 7th overall in the league. Now Evans under pressure. Pasternak close, the puck to the Bruins. Squib to the front. Nice play by Zacha to get it to Lindholm. Now Evans with a steal. Canadians get it back, and it's ripped down by Savard. Second unit coming on for Joe Sacco. 5:40 remaining in regulation. 5-3 Bruins here in the Centennial game. Brazo chips to Coyle. He has one career hat trick. Geeky attacks. His shot deflected to the corner. Coyle creates a little space for himself. Shoots. Primo the glove save as he snuck out to his left with Brazo in front of him.
Yeah, a little clock awareness now. 5 seconds left on the penalty to Hudson. He'll be coming out of the penalty box in the neutral zone, so just be aware.
Charlie Coyle's hat trick, by the way, came on November 9th, 2023 against the Islanders here on home ice. Coyle kicked out of the draw. Kaselic will step in and take it. We got 3 guys on this line who can take a draw. Canadians win it. Near side, it's drilled but not out. Coyle. Oh, he just lost it. His momentum carried him away from the puck. Hudson gains the line. Left of the net. Sent it out in front. Swayman juggled it. Now covers. Thanks to McAvoy. 5 minutes to go here in the third. Hudson and the Canadians down 5-3 here in Boston.
Thursday's games air on national networks. Come back to Nesson on Saturday afternoon at 12:30 for Bruins Face-Off Live, presented by EchoStore Technologies. We'll get you ready before the Bruins host the Flyers and have all the latest NHL news. EchoStore Technologies, vision, strategy, success.
Joe Sacco trying to improve to 4-2 as the interim head coach for the Bruins. This is his 300th game as a National Hockey League head coach. Was the head coach for 4 seasons in Colorado, and back in 2010 he was a finalist for the Jack Adams Trophy, which goes to the Coach of the Year. We'll have to keep our eyes on Caden Primo to our right as this face-off is taken and won by the Bruins. Zadorov, however, knotted up. Got a little help from Coyle. This puck doesn't get out. Carlo to Zadorov. He'll lift it in. It's time for the Ford F-150 Final 5. Canadians will drag it ahead. Caulfield to the corner. Knocked down by Carlo. Back of it at Frederick. Challenged by Newhook, and it's lobbed in. Or lobbed out to center ice and then scraped deep by Kastelik. Bruins trying to win the first 2 games of this series. They won 6-4 in the home opener against the Canadians. Armia cranked it in. Puck chopped over to the far side. McAvoy back of the net. Reversed it with a guy on his back. Osterley, long left wing feed. Pasternak. Got some body contact there from Gooley. And it's sent out to the neutral zone by the Canadians. Pasternak settles it back in his own end. Sent it out in front. McAvoy rotates it to the far side. Canadians bring it back in. 3.5 minutes left. Bruins with a steal. Marchand sent it to the far side. Pasternak gains the red line. He'll feed it in and change. Now far side. This puck won't get out. Held in by Zadorov. Pounds it back of the net. Marchand. Far corner. Brazo leans into Struble. Creates a little space. Carlo will choose not to pinch. And out at center ice, Newhook rolled it into the Bruins zone. Suzuki kicked it to the slot. Goes out to center ice to retrieve his stick. Caulfield shoots, and Swayman takes it right into the 8-spoke black and gold B.
Arbella provides coverage for what matters most. They're your neighbors and fellow Bruins fans. Find a local agent at arbella.com.
For the time being, Caden Primo stays on the ice. He was communicating with Marty St. Louis. Now it looks like St. Louis is waving him off. So it'll be a 6-on-5 with 2:46 remaining, and the Bruins up by 2 here in the Centennial game. Bruins win the draw. Bump to McAvoy, rattled around. In the near corner, Slavkovsky flattened. Up top now, Hudson. Across, here it comes, and Swayman the save, and that puck sticks to him. The game report presented by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service, a 100% employee-owned company. Well, Charlie McAvoy, Charlie Coyle, each with 2 goals. David Pasternak, his first goal in 8 games. That came in the first period. A 3-goal outburst by the Bruins. Caulfield with a pair for Montreal here today. And Emil Heineman, a big goal for the Canadians in the 3rd period. Off the face-off, won by Montreal. Matheson up top. Shoots. Could not get to Swayman. Zadorov packed it up the far side. The Bruins have it up the middle. It's Zacco over the line. To the middle. Koepke shoots. He scores! Cole Koepke with the empty netter. Will that do it? 6-3 Bruins.
Boston back in the defensive zone and forced that puck out of the D zone. Beecher able to just lay one out there for Koepke. Koepke's able to settle it down. You got to take the goal in that situation. I know McAvoy's coming late, looking for the hat trick maybe, but you got to take the goal in that situation. Put this game to bed.
Here's Geekie. Brazeau chases it in the right corner. Back of the net now, Struble. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in regulation. Lorei takes a look. Swats it back of the net to Peak. McLaughlin shot it ahead. Jackeye took a hit from Brazeau. The puck to Geekie. Shoots! Primo could stop with his right leg. He made some good stops here in the third period. Jackeye brings it in. His team changing with 1:23 left.
Fifth goal of the season for the Bruins, Koepke, scoring from Beecher and Kastelik at 17:46.
Peak. Up the near side, it rolled away from Beecher and out to center ice, Kastelik. He'll throw it to the far side, Koepke. Shot it to the near wall. Koepke with 2 goals in the season series against Montreal.
Last minute of regulation play.
Carlo blocked up with Anderson. And the long shot by Gouli deflected over the glass. Here's the save of the game, brought to you by TD Bank.
Well, the Bruins had taken a 5-1 lead early in the third period. Felt pretty strong about where they were at, but then a couple of quick goals by the Canadians made it 5-3, and then they got a power play. And the Bruins had to dig deep, and they needed a couple of stops at the right time from their goaltender, Jeremy Swayman. This one here on the deflected shot on a nice play by the Canadian man advantage. Slavkovsky with the shot, Gallagher right at the top of the paint. Swayman able to squeeze the pads.
McLaughlin wins the draw. Back of the net, Zadorov. Snapped it ahead, looking for Brazeau. Primo plays it, so no icing here. Sent out in front, looking backdoor for Frederick. Half a minute left in this one. Frederick. Brazeau was calling for it. And the Bruins shovel it out to center ice. So the Canadians are going to fall to 8-13-3. And the Bruins here on home ice push their record above 500. And overall, they're going to be 12-11-3. 5 seconds left. Everybody on their feet here at TD Garden. Bruins win the Centennial game. They were powered by 2 goals from Charlie McAvoy, including the game winner, 2 from Charlie Coyle, and Jeremy Swayman improves to 9-0-1 lifetime against the Canadians. Your final, Bruins 6 and the Canadians 3. The post-game show from TD Garden is coming up next. Dale, Billy, and Barry coming your way.
games as the Bruins beat the Montreal Canadiens by a final of 6.